What is up, everybody? So yeah, the whale thing with the dots, he had 20,000 health left, and I was like, really? Really? And I made a minor mistake. I didn't think it would be a mistake, because I didn't think it would matter. But, here, I'll show the setup of basically what I did. By the way, if I had a level 1 Medusa, this would be better. But this account actually doesn't have one, so the next time I get a Medusa, I need to keep it, because that's something I could do. I don't know why the music is loud, it's literally on 9%. Like, the fuck? Anyway. I actually just show it here. Gotta get lost. Oh, I hate this game's support system. There we go. Anyway, so level 1 Medusa has her stun already, right? So that'd have been better, because you could turn one stun and have more time to get, like, dots from your command codes and things like that. And so, basically, I reset until I at least got one of the command codes on turn 1, okay? And then you apply that, Mozart dies, so you have 2 dots. So Mozart's out of here. Waver comes in, uses his skills, all 3 of them can NP, get a bunch of dots. And if Waver didn't stun, I would reset and do it again until Waver's stunned. Thankfully, Waver has a really high stun chance because he's got his passive and then the overcharge on the CE, so he has like a 2% chance to stun or something. Anyway, so then I would use all 3 command spells on the next turn, and then do it again, and hope Waver stuns, which he did, and then use Switch Mystic Code, bring in Edmund, and then do that. So where I think I messed up, and I'm not sure if this is a mistake or not, but I'm not sure I should have done all 3 command spells on them, because I think if I had command codes again with curse on them, so I could have done just Waver, had him NP again, and then have them, instead of using their NPs, use their normal cards to apply curse again from the command code. Then next turn, because the boss is stunned, can't remove dots, then bring in Edmund, then use the command spells, so then have them all NP at the same time. I'm not sure if that would make a 20k difference or not, but that might have been slightly better. But yeah, was down to 20k health. I was like, fucking really? So that kind of sucked. But yeah, if I want to do it again, I have to wait 3 days. But I don't know if I'll bother or not. So that was pretty disappointing. Yeah, you can always save scum, that's true. Alright, well let's do the main story and see if we unlock any more bosses. Yes, honestly, I don't mind the event in terms of gameplay. You don't have to do that much farming, and the mini bosses and stuff are kind of fun. It's not like it's pretty similar to Good at Final. It's just not as good. Like I think it's straight up, it's not as good as Good at Final, but it's all right. I have not hated it. I don't care for the story too much, and the first day of the event was pretty bad. But... Okay, before we do these, let's do the main story. See what goes on with the whale. I like how yesterday kind of just stopped and nothing was explained. Yeah. Well, I don't think it's very... I don't think... Yeah, definitely less loading. I think this is a much better event than the maze event. I do think, though, that the gimmick is pointless, right? Like, the stage gimmick is irrelevant. You know, it doesn't matter, like, for example, it doesn't matter if you start this map, if you start clearing this way, and then clear up, you know, or if you cleared up and then clear, it doesn't matter, right? Ultimately, it's do free quests, unlock map. It's totally linear, right? Like, it's irrelevant. But I'm enjoying it anyway because, unlike the maze event, I'm not loading every 2 seconds, and this actually has some interesting boss fights, right? I'll say this, if you didn't have some, like that Lancer node and that kind of stuff, to have fun, then I would say, yeah, this event sucks. But because this actually has stages that you can have fun in and mess around with and do teams or solo or use the gimmick or not use the gimmick, right? I'm enjoying it a lot more than the maze event. The maze event was just nothing. It was just nothing. Like, you were just sitting there and loading screens constantly and doing farming stages. That was it. Like, that was literally it. Nothing mattered. Like, there was no interesting boss fights until the very end. And I'll give the maze event that. The very end of the event did have good boss fights. The challenge quest was fine. The final main story fight was fine. The second to last main story fight was fine. So, you know, that was good. So it's not like the maze event had nothing, but it was pretty pointless. Where this I think is just way better. I think this is a million times better. Like, it's less tedious, it's less loading, and it has better content, so. But this event isn't over, you know, they could always fuck it up at the end. But it's like, you're on this new map here, and it doesn't matter what I do, right? It's a pretty linear process and how you actually go about unlocking it, so it's kind of, I don't know, I maybe it's just because I'm a boomer or whatever, but like, you know, if there's not like, when they do gimmicks that matter, right, and have actual meaning to them, like the Grail Front or Setsubun or whatever, I can enjoy them, right? But when it's so surface level, it's more like an illusion, right, then I don't really care, and because I noticed that it's like an illusion so quickly that, you know, it's just lost on me, and I just find it annoying, so, but that's most FGO events, so. Yeah, the NA should have the rerun version of the maze event, or just how it was at the end of the first run. So it shouldn't be as bad. It's still a lot of loading, but it's not nearly as bad as before they patched it. Now, who knows? Maybe they'll give NA the pre-patched version, but I don't think so. They'd be pretty stupid to do that. And they normally give NA like the rerun version in terms of like quality of life improvements for like Go West and Summer 3 and stuff. Doesn't NA have to do Summer 3 one more time? Don't they still have the rerun? Those poor bastards. That event's not dead yet. I will say, yeah, okay, it's bad time in this event. I will say though, I do enjoy the raids and all that, and the challenge quest in Summer 3. And you got that fight with BB at the end, which is pretty fun to solo. I haven't found any red stuff so far, feels bad. Yeah, getting rare prisms instead of the welfare, or actually it's with the welfare, is pretty awesome. And I'm sure it'll be extra nice for the people that are like, I will never burn a gold, right? Because there's people out there like that. And so for them, if they're free to play, it's a way that they can actually get some stuff from the rare prism shop, right? Oh, still no red things. You have to do the story to get the red things to spawn. Didn't I already do the story? That's never been the case before. I'm guessing that's like where the black marks are then. I guess there's more story I could have done. Imagine clearing the whole map and it's just like, where is everybody? Oops, I skipped. Well, it didn't look like they were going to actually show us what happened with the whale anyway. Oh, God. I'm running out of Mystic Codes worth a half a fuck to level. Also, another thing I like about this event is just the whale. The whale's awesome. Hopefully they don't run it. And the CE's all right, you know, it's not like the best freebie CE, but it's okay, and then the command codes are good, and you get Void Dust, so... Okay, what's going on here? Yeah, I love the honk. Oh hey Professor, thank you for the resub, man. 2 years of suffering feels bad. No, I mean I knew what the speculation was, like with it being his ex-lover or his sister or whatever. I don't know if they actually finally clarified it, but I'm sure it's not going to change my opinion. But go ahead and hit me with it. It's not like it's really a spoiler. Even if it is, I don't care, because this event. I can't imagine the actual reason being any dumber than what everyone was speculating it being. Honestly, I'm not so sure they're actually going to make more money off of the gender bend. I think they might have made more money if they had done, like, you know, kind of a Shakespeare kind of look. I think that might have gone over pretty well, to be honest. Van Gogh told the old gods to fuck off and killed himself, so the old gods gave his powers to the... Oh my god, that's so stupid. That's so stupid. That's just that's literally an excuse. That is so stupid. That's dumber than I thought. That is so stupid. I mean, credit to Van Gogh telling the old gods to fuck off, but that's stupid. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, it doesn't... People are gonna act like, oh, so it's fine that they, you know, fucked up his paintings and all this. No, it doesn't, because this, again, this is still the game's representation of Van Gogh, right? This is still how the game is gonna represent him. The unit is still named Van Gogh. They still have the paintings. It's all, and you're not gonna get the other one, right? I will at least say this: if, like, I'll be happy to eat my words if they pull an Arthur and they actually do add regular Van Gogh someday, you know, then okay, right? I can at least, you know, give that somewhat, but they're not going to. They're not going to. It's just like they're not going to do regular Paul Bunyan. They're not going to do male Masashi. Although they might do male Masashi. I think that one has a slight chance of happening. But, you know, on all intents and purposes, she's just the game's representation of Van Gogh, right? And then the underlying stuff, as I've always said, is just, you know, it's just the devil in the details, right? It doesn't really matter, like, everyone... And again, it's just so insulting, because again, real person, real paintings, you know, real artist's legacy, I'm really so not cool with them, like, changing the paintings and stuff like that. That leaves such a bad taste in my mouth. Honestly, it's weird because a lot of male characters have been really popular, like really fucking popular. And we've had a real shortage of characters kind of like Shakespeare in terms of like that design, not necessarily personality, but like in terms of that kind of design. I think it would have gone over just fine having, because you've had a lot of painting servants, but they're all females, right? So I think having like the you know, more middle-aged, you know, bearded gent, I think could have gone over really well. I think that'd have been awesome. But, you know, it's not to be, I guess. Maybe someday. Oh, this is the only wave. Yeah, I do kind of feel like they're kind of spitting on his grave, right? I don't... Again, real person, real art, real legacy, and then, you know, them changing it like that, it's just, I don't care for that. Like I said, I don't see the difference, because art is art, right? And I don't see the difference between changing his paintings like that versus, like, if they had put Mozart's music in and they had changed the melodies, right? I think that would have been equally lame. Thankfully, they didn't do that, but I think if they had, I don't think they would have gotten away with it. Like, seriously, I think if they had made changes to like Mozart's melodies and stuff, and not just the instrumentation. Obviously, you know, orchestras even today will, you know, twink instrumentation and that kind of thing. Like, that's fine. But, like, you know, tempo and instrumentation is kind of normal to kind of vary a bit. But if he just straight up, like, changed the melodies, that would have been so lame. But who knows? Maybe they will do regular Van Gogh someday. I don't know. I'm curious how I'm sure, like, I mean, even in an A, there's a lot of people that are upset about it, but there's a lot of people that are just like, oh, my waifu, right? Like, you never underestimate how a lot of people don't even know anything about Van Gogh, and they don't care. They're like, oh, hey, it's a waifu, and that's all they care about, right? And that's happening in Japan too, I'm sure. But I'm curious, you know, how this overall has been received in Japan compared to over here. Oh yeah, I know. There's plenty, like I said, of that in NA too. But there's also no shortage of people that are like, this is lame. Like, there's no shortage of that. There's no shortage of both, obviously, but... But the reason I'm curious is because I feel like if there is a lot of people saying we would have really liked a regular Van Gogh, they might actually do it someday, right? I like how he added that as a trait. Make some things easier. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, Ari. I would say on an objective, if I look at it objectively, I would say by my own criteria, Van Gogh is my least favorite. But subjectively, because of like the things that I personally care about and stuff, it would still probably be Paul. Just because I do think Van Gogh is more insulting and handled even worse somehow. But you know, Paul Bunyan is, you know, ruining something I had. You know, I actually was hoping to be in the game and those kinds of things, right? And I actually like the legend. And I don't mind Van Gogh, by the way. Like Van Gogh's work in real life, I've never minded. I like his paintings enough, right? You know, they're fine. But I'm not like a huge Van Gogh fan, right? Like it's not. I never was even thinking about him being an FGO anyway. Or Fate in general, but I have no problem with Van Gogh stuff, and certainly as badly handled as Paul was, Van Gogh's work definitely. Ah yes, woo, that's a thing. Gender bending has absolutely been more frequent. It was actually, this is a real like bullshit myth that the community has made up. Where like Fate has in the early days was just like gender bending like crazy, right? And so it's just more of the same. That's so not the case, right? There was generally not that much gender bending going on in the early days of Fate. It was just a few characters that got gender bent got crazy popular. They've definitely FGO has escalated in Highball, escalated the rate in which the gender bent things, like no question. I probably should have focused more on actually getting my in key and kind of just doing normal card damage and not using my skills. That was probably not a good decision right there. If I do this right, I could potentially kill two of them. Nope. Feels bad. I think we might get normal hands someday. We'll see. I should have done the attack buff last turn. Well, we win now, though. Don't really need it here. The event's okay. I mean, it's nothing spectacular, but it's got some fun mini bosses from time to time that you can mess around with that are pretty fun. It's not very tedious though. It's like pretty easy to progress in, so that's nice. But yeah, I mean, I've had fun with the mini bosses, so honestly, I like it more than I would have expected. I don't like it thematically very much. So that information about Van Gogh makes it seem like and correct me if I'm wrong, or if you agree, but I feel like that makes it really obvious that lore-wise, story-wise, there's absolutely no reason for every, like, outer god foreigner to be, like, have a female host, right? It looks like they have no problem, you know, working with men. It's just coincidentally it never happens, and just, what a coincidence. Every single outer god unit ends up being, like, lolly nonsense. Because every single one of them, all of them, right? And then it's obvious though that there's no lore reason for it. Like there's not, you know, because I think that's twice they tried to have a male one. They just, you know, don't. I'm so worried that we're gonna get the Yellow King at some point, and it's just gonna be a lolly. Like I'm getting really sick of endless outer god lollies, right? I'm getting pretty tired of that. Voyager's not a outer god connected character. He is a spacecraft. I'm not even kidding, right? Like I'm not exaggerating. He's not outer god related. He is a spaceship, right? It's not quite the same. Also, he's not even supposed to be a foreigner. His class canonically is Voyager. It's just that hadn't been revealed yet, so they just made up a reason to make him foreigner. And then, like, a few days later, like, oh yeah, by the way, his actual class is Voyager. It's like, okay, well, that was pointless. I actually think him being foreigner is incredibly stupid. Like, out of all the things that they have being a foreigner, I think Voyager is the stupidest one. And I don't mean Voyager himself is stupid. I mean making him a Voyager, or making him a foreigner, is incredibly stupid, because his whole shtick is he is from Earth and he's basically representing, you know, like the wonder of exploration, which kind of has that childlike wonder to it, blah 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 blah, right? So it's very Earth, right? It's literally, he's directly tied to humans, you know, desire for exploration and all that kind of stuff, right? And so it's pure human. It's not foreign, right? He's not foreign in the slightest. It's the opposite, right? It's like, it's so stupid. Which is why, you know, his actual class is Voyager, because that actually makes a lot more sense. And I'm pretty sure Voyager is an extra class that's just derivative of a rider, which makes sense. Because, you know, spaceship, he's on a ride, right? It's just like Avenger is like an derivative of Berserker, and Gunner is derivative of Archer, so I'm pretty sure Voyager is derivative of Rider, which is pretty legit, honestly. That's as sensible as any of the other extra classes, so I don't think it's like a bullshit class, really. I think there might be a male outer god foreigner in Fate Strange Fake, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But actually, no, I think I'm Requiem, excuse me, I think has one. Alright, 3 waves. Let's actually try to get long-term value for once in our lives. So she's not going to get her NP anytime soon, so I'm just gonna try to blow one of these up right now. Yeah, Requiem is meh. I think it has like, it had potential to do some interesting things, but it's handled in a pretty generic way, and I haven't read all of it, but from what I have read of it, I've been pretty meh about it. The style of it just isn't really my cup of tea. I think the writer is really struggling to tell a story in that setting with that large of a roster, and like finding a way to give people like their fair share, right? And it's hard. To be fair, it is very difficult to write stories that have ginormous casts and find like the right story structure and that kind of thing. It's not an easy thing to do, and I think they're really struggling with that. Because it really just has not been working for me. I think the writer of Bakano and Page Train Fake and Rah Rah Rah, all that stuff, I think he's very good at that. I mean, that's his specialty, really, is having stories that have large rosters, and he splits up the screen time and is able to get a lot of characterization done in small, periods of time and stuff. Like, he's just really good at that. Alright, it's the bitch. Same voice line over and over, by the way. Just going ham on Frankenstein here. See what happens. You know, for being an event servant, that wasn't really that impressive for a Brave Chain. I've seen better. I mean, I think a lot of the hate for Van Gogh is pretty warranted. I remember when Calamity Jane came out and there were people acting like it was so hypocritical that there were so many people so about Calamity Jane. You know, people were making all these like detailed arguments why it wasn't really done that well and all these things. They're just like, no, you, right? That's not a... And, and if you like a character's design and voice acting, that's great. But I think you can also, a lot of times, like, that's happened with me several times where I like something subjectively, but I'm like, yeah, I can really see why, this really ticks a lot of people off, right? So, for me, if I look at the character like in a vacuum, take the Van Gogh out of it, remove his paintings, and you just look at the design and that kind of... I still don't like the fucking character, right? That's not my main issue, though, right? It really isn't. It's just so not my kind of character, right? Like, very much not my cup of tea. But then it's that, and then the fact that it is doing such a shit job with Van Gogh's legacy, right? And it's just such a bad excuse. Then it's just, and they're fucking up the paintings and everything. So I'm just like, okay, no. I like Nemo a lot more than Van Gogh, but I'm not crazy about Nemo either, because again, if you look at the character in a vacuum, right, I like the character more than Van Gogh, but it's still not really my kind of character. But then on the flip side, what it's supposed to be representing, I like way more than what we got, right? Like, badass submarine captain, fighting giant squids could be pretty cool, right? Like, that's way more up my alley than the kiddie squad, right? But, like, I don't, out of all the kid characters in the game, right, so if you remove what they're based on, right, if you take out what they're actually based on and you just look at them as, like, an original character, I like Nemo more than a lot of the other kid characters. Not the most, but I like Nemo more than a lot of the kid characters. But here's the thing, I think Fate is getting really bad about this, and this is where I think there's starting to be a huge split in the community, and I see this split so obviously. Right? So you have a lot of other games out there, a lot of other anime, phone games, books, you name it, right? That they're just original stuff. They're just making up their own characters. Like, Genshin Impact is that they're just making up their own characters. Epic 7, same deal, Arc Knight, so on and so forth, right? But the thing is, Fate was never that, right? Like, you shouldn't be making characters to just make up an anime archetype, right, and blah, 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 right? Because that's not what made Fate unique, and that's not what the series was from the beginning. It wasn't, right? Fate was not fanfiction the entire time, right? If you look at Fate Stay Night, Artoria is the biggest liberty, but at least they put a lot of effort into it, right? And it's Artoria, not Arthur, and they actually made Arthur, and they didn't just gender switch around King Arthur, they actually... they did a lot with it. Her being a woman really changes the character and, like, what she went through and what she's trying to do and everything. And then everything else in Fate Stay Night is quite true to what they're based on, except anime, which is what you're expecting, right? Hercules is probably the other most out there, just because, yes, there are stories of Hercules going berserk, but they're pretty minor and ain't nobody really remembers Hercules that way, right? So Herc's a bit out there too, but not that out there. Literally everything core to Fate has always been, let's take something from history or legend and make it very anime. Right? That's what's supposed, and that's fine. You know, they're not. Fate was never like some copy paste of history and mythology, right? It was never that, but it always was pulling from it heavily. And I just want to slap people that act like that's not what it was, because people, most of these people have no idea. Like, what are you talking about? That's so stupid. Like, their take on Gilgamesh is so fucking accurate to the Epic of Gilgamesh. Sure, his appearance is very anime, but literally out of everything they've ever done in Fate, and some people have actually said it's boring, because Gilgamesh is so copy-pasted from the Epic of Gilgamesh. The whole backstory with how everything plays out with Enkidu and Ishtar and Humbaba, and it's literally just copy-pasted from the actual story, right? The only thing that's anime is the design, which is, again, fine. That's what you're none of the designs are historically accurate. None of them, right? And that, again, that's fine, because the whole premise... this is such a shitty, desperate argument to try to justify how ludicrous the franchise is now. Just act like it's always been like this. Then, like, why do you think there's this massive group of people that are, like, old-school Fate fans that are like, yeah, this is so different now, right? Like, oh, they're just all delusional. Like, that's ridiculous, right? Like, if you actually look at the older stuff, you know, Fate Zero, Fate Stay Night, you know, APOC, and you really think that's the same as, like, Paul Bunyan, Nemo, Van Gogh, you know, fucking all this, you know, newer stuff, you are nuts. You are fucking delusional. And, like, yes, Fate has always taken liberties. Like, there's no question about that. They've always, you know, animated up quite a bit, right? Like, believe it or not, Achilles was never depicted as having green hair and, you know, going, like, at light speed, right? That, not actually in the Iliad, by the way, but still, he's still very faithful to what one would expect of Achilles in an anime, right? He's very prideful, he's, you know, very skilled, though, and you know, very powerful, but, you know, egotistical, but still kind of a hero. He's kind of in that middle ground. You know, that's exactly what you expect, and that's pretty much how all the older stuff is, you know, with a few exceptions. Now, it's the other way around, right? Now, Jack the Ripper. Okay, first off, hold on. I'll get to that in a second. We'll address that in a second. But again, we also have a regular Jack the Ripper, for God's sakes. And Jack is also another character that has, you know, got, especially back in the day, was singled out as being pretty stupid, right? Like, and there's a reason for that, because Jack is really different from a lot of the rest of the cast. But, like, you're basically grasping at straws, trying to cherry pick a couple of instances of things, and you're making them seem worse than they are, and then trying to justify this army of lunacy, right? Like, we hardly get any characters now that are even remotely grounded in what they're based on. And occasionally we do. Occasionally they still make a character that's like, yeah, this is an anime version of what they're based on, right? But it's almost in pure made-up bullshit now that has almost, like, Nemo has fucking nothing to do with what he's based on outside of, like, the submarine, right? Which is pretty superficial. But yeah, like, and Jack would get, I think, a lot more hate if it wasn't for the fact that they did make regular Jack. The funny thing is, those were actually designed at roughly the same time. Fate Strange Fake has just been that slow. It's really funny. A lot of people think Fate Strange Fake is one of the newer Fate stories, but it's actually one of the older ones. It's just, it took so fucking long for it to get rolling. And yeah, Fate Strange Fake was in pre-production, kind of when the later APOC books were coming out, if I remember correctly. So they had some, like, overlap there. And there actually was some problems with that, if you look at the way that it characterized a few things. But, like, there's a reason why the few oddballs from the old days a lot of people didn't like. And so instead of them being a few oddities now, it's almost everything. Like, it's so easy to say, oh, Fate has always been like this, and just ignore, you know, Diomed, Achilles, Gilgamesh, Medea, Medusa, you know, Karna, like, Siegfried. the overwhelming majority of the servants, right? And then, like, for instance, you have Emiya, who pretty much is fan fiction, but he's not based on anyone, right? It's not like, oh, I'm actually Billy the Kid. It's like, no, it is a made up character. Like, and when you want, and that's the thing, when Fate wants to take extreme liberties and just make up some bullshit character, the best way of doing that is actually making up a character, right? Like what's Chloe or whatever. And Emiya and I guess Zig kinda and stuff like when you do stuff like that, no one cares, right? Like that's not a problem. But when it doesn't feel good to be playing Russian roulette with historical figures, right? Like, well, maybe this historical figure will actually have some resemblance of what they're based on, or they're gonna turn out to be a random rainbow-colored lolly. Right, it's like, it's not great to be like, okay, let's say your favorite happened to be Van Gogh, right? Like, you're a huge Van Gogh fan, right? So maybe it's going to be handled like Shakespeare or Achilles or so on and so forth. Or maybe it's going to be handled like, Space Lolly, right? That's kind of dumb. Oh yeah, Shiki's obviously made up, but she wasn't technically from Fate originally anyway, so. When have I ever said the original Fate story is the holy grail of storytelling? When quote me. When did I say that? I think my chat will back me up on this. I probably criticize Fate Stay Night more than anyone else that actually likes Fate Stay Night. Like, I get so much flack for calling Fate Stay Night a steaming pile of shit, right? Like, on the one hand, I have Reddit over here trying to discredit me, trying to say that nothing I say can be taken seriously because I don't think Fate Stay Night is written particularly well. And then on the other hand, I have people telling me that I'm like trying to hold up Fate Stay Night as like some amazing storytelling, which I don't do that at all. It's a blatant difference in approach, right? I'm not even talking about writing right now, right? From a writing standpoint, I think Fate Stay Night is a steaming pile of garbage in terms of storytelling. I think it does an excellent job of characterizing its characters. I think it does a good job of that, but in terms of storytelling, it's fucking trash. But what I'm talking about right now is an approach and design. We're talking about like attitude and how you're approaching the subject matter, right? So it's like how does older Fate stories, when they're looking at like the characters they're trying to represent, how do they try to do it, right? And now what it feels like, and it's because Fate has gotten so much bigger and makes so much more money. It's this huge IP, right? And you gotta pay them bills, right? And you got all that. There's a lot more corporate involved than there used to be. And so now it feels like they're trying to fulfill checkboxes for the industry, like, oh, they're trying to make characters that are popular, and then try to superficially slap, some, historical legend or person on it. Where before, I think it was the other way around, where it was more like, how can we take this thing and make it anime, right? And there was a few exceptions to that, and like I said, like I think Artoria is an exception to that, but at least I've never been super happy with how they handled Artoria, right? I would have preferred just regular King Arthur, but at least they put effort into it. It wasn't lazy. They didn't just like, oh, randomly it's King Arthur with tits, right? They didn't do that. They actually put a lot of effort into it. So, although it's not my favorite thing, at least it's passable. All right, let's actually kill this thing. I mean, I think the franchise has just gotten so big that it's lost a lot of its identity, right? And sometimes I think it regains that identity depending on which writer grabs it, right? Because different writers approach it in different ways and design characters with their own, criteria and whatnot. So it's not, being run by just Type Moon anymore. And I think that's why you see such... But at the same time, you still have Aniplex in the picture now, and sales and all these things. So I think that's where a lot of this comes from. Well, with Frankenstein, I mean, she's literally Frankenstein's wife. Like, that is the story, she's Frankenstein's wife. It's just Frankenstein never got made. And I've always said I would have liked them to actually done regular Frankenstein. And maybe they will. I doubt it, because he's... From what I understand, Frankenstein is, like, in Europe and, like, North America, it's a pretty big story, right? Like, everybody knows it. But I don't think it is in Japan. So I would be surprised if they ever revisit it. And I think that's, unfortunate, but, Like I said, you know, Fate has always taken liberties and has always done stuff that I'm like, this is kind of silly. But again, it's not the majority, like not at all. And even with Frankenstein, again, at least he put effort into it. You know, where it's she's from a world where Frankenstein's wife was made first, and regular Frankenstein was never made, right? And then they actually have that play into her characterization and what the character is about and stuff. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. It's not, you know, not my ideal take on the character, but that's so much better than a lot of like the superficial, you know, bullshit that we get now. I mean, so many of the servants now are just like, they're just archetypes. They're just boring ass archetypes. They just fill like a quota, right? They're going after a different audience now. They're going after a much, you know, bigger audience now that doesn't care, right? A lot of the people that are, you know, are screaming from the rooftops that they love all these new designs and stuff were never really all that into the series in the first place. And it's fine to try to appeal to a wider audience to a degree, but like you don't want to bastardize, you know, what your core was. So I see a lot of people act like Napoleon is not like even remotely based on what Napoleon is, but that's actually not true. Like he is based on, you know, he was a canon guy and all that stuff in his younger days. So it's kind of weird to me how many people act like that's like a totally off the wall one. Yeah, I wish they would handle American servants better. It's frustrating because that was very unlucky, by the way. Like where our survivability was and the way that turned out, that was very unlucky. But it's frustrating to me that, you know, certain cultures and certain histories get like respect in the Fate franchise and some don't, right? And it's not just North America that gets shit on. There's several other ones as well, but. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, because then you've got, you know, loads of, you know, Japanese and Chinese stuff and all that kind of thing. And they actually have a lot of variety in their designs, right? Like, there's so many Japanese servants, you have plenty to pick from that are more serious and whatnot. Meanwhile, American servants, you pretty much have Billy, and that's it. And I guess Geronimo too, but we know how that worked out gameplay-wise. But I basically see Fate, instead of being Fate, trying to be like other games with a Fate coat of paint on it. That's what I see now. And I'm not a fan of this. Right? Because you have a lot of games and anime out there that are really going after like, you know, certain, you know, archetypes and all that kind of thing. And Fate is trying to emulate those with a Fate coat of paint on them. Right? And that's so lame, and I think the series deserves better than that. Well, Lobo's a fusion of a few things, but the Doggo half is technically from North America. And they did a pretty good job with that one. Wow, we almost lost this. I hate that design, oh god. It's better than the other one though, with the like insane socks or whatever. I mean, Tesla was American, it's just he wasn't born in America. But that's how a lot of America was, right? And is, right? Like that's like how that's kind of what makes America unique, is it's made up of so many other cultures, you know, leaving where they came from and coming to America instead and everything, so. It's, you know, and ultimately that's kind of how every country is. It's just because America's newer, right, that it's more noticeable, right? Where a lot of other countries, they might have migrated, you know, a long time ago, right? So it's kind of different like that. But also, generally with a lot of older civilizations and countries and so on and so forth, it was more of like this group of people going here and it was that. Where America was a lot of hodgepodge, where it was a lot of people coming from different places going to the same place. So that kind of made a different thing there. Yeah, Tesla basically gets to be both, so. And that happens all the time in real life, where it's like, you You know, like I have some family members that were born in Korea, but then they moved to America and they have dual citizenship, so. Using someone's designs does not make them American. That's not how that works. I gotta say, I don't like the main story stages very much. They're really boring, and they're just stage after stage after stage of them making you use preset teams. I don't mind that every once in a while, especially if it's like handcrafted and well done, but most of these are not very well done, and they're not very interesting. And it's just like a slog, nothing stage with a random hodgepodge units that have no synergy whatsoever, and it's not very interesting. I like preset teams when they're done well, but these are not done well. Like if they want to, and they've done this occasionally, where they'll make like a little mini boss battle, right? And it's kind of balanced with the team that they give you in mind, right? And so you're kind of supposed to use their abilities in an intelligent way to get what you need done, right? When they do that, it's fine, right? And they have done that from time to time. This ain't that though. This is just, you're not fighting anything interesting. There's no gimmicks to even interact with. It's just generic ass enemies with units that have no synergy in any way, and you're just slowly killing them, right? It's not fun at all. You're not doing anything, right? There's no like gameplay. Like, there's been several times where these done preset teams, like, oh, this is a fun thing, especially when they do things where it's like, where they're kind of expecting you to not do so good, but you'll win in a certain amount of turns. But if you actually play really well, you can like break the health bar and win sooner, stuff like that. Like sometimes that can be fun, but yeah, these are garbage. And some of the main story stages have been okay because they've done like where you do get to bring some of your own units, right? Like some of the boss fights, like the Demon Pillar and stuff. But overall, these are pretty forgettable. Yeah, Achilles versus Chiron was alright. It was kind of simple and short, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But you basically needed to play Achilles intelligently, like the hardest. You did it a couple times, and the ones that were like the hardest, you needed to play somewhat intelligently, and so that was kind of fun. Again, it was kind of short though, so it wasn't like there wasn't a whole lot going on really, but it was kind of cool. That's a main story though, not an event, so they generally handle that differently. I mean, this isn't exactly a summer event in terms of like the formula of how they do summer events, right? It's not at the time of year you would expect it. It doesn't like follow the whole formula with like the style event that it is. And they didn't add any new summer servants, right? So it's not, but it's kind of a summer event in that all the summer servants are the bonus servants, and you know, it's kind of got the Altered Saint Graph theme and that kind of stuff, so it has some similarities. I think the main stories actually handled the preset teams better than the events have. There have been a few events though that have done some okay stuff, but I think they put more effort into it. I think with events, they kind of are just doing them because, and they don't want it to be hard. Where in the main story, they try to make it a bit more engaging, I think. But here's the thing, and this is why a lot of people don't like them, and this is why I Love Arjuna doesn't like them, and I kind of agree with this. And I think it's kind of hard. Oh, this thing is summoning ads. Okay, I'm supposed to be killing the big boy. Wasn't paying attention. Anyway, we'll be fine. This is a really legitimate criticism, in my opinion, because you cannot deny this. Someone personally may not be playing the game for this, but undeniably, this is how like the game is marketed. This is what so many people care about. FGO is a huge selling point, is using the Fate characters that you like and making your own teams and like bringing your own favorites, right? There's a lot of Gundam games out there that are like that, where you put in like all the characters from all the Gundam universe stuff, and you can kind of cherry pick the ones you want and make like your favorite team and that kind of stuff. FGO is overwhelmingly trying to do that, right? A huge selling point of this game is collect the servants that are your favorites and make the teams with your favorites, right? That is overwhelmingly the draw of this game, right? And when you have this preset team spam, you don't get to do that. And like, that's why I got into the game. It's like, oh yeah, I want to, you know, use coup and murder things and get, you know, the other characters that I like, and that, you know, and then when you have all this preset team and stuff, you can't do that, right? And it really stands out. You're trying to be like the coup guy, and now you have to randomly not be the coup guy just because the game says so. It's pretty obnoxious, right? And like, you got Arjuna over there who obviously wants to use the Indian boys to slaughter everything. Like I'm telling you, this is specifically something I liked about FGO, and I know a lot of people got into it for this, and like my friend Kai, same thing. It's like, you want to take on these different events and stories and stuff with your favorites, right? You want to beat up the big bad guy with your favorites. You want to, you know, beat up the stupid summer event with your servants, right? That's like the thing, is you're supposed to, you want to deal with whatever the game is like, you know, trying to make a big deal out of, and you want to beat it up with the stuff you think is a big deal, right? That's a huge part of the game, right? And then when they have all the, because this event has more preset teams, I think, than I've ever seen, right? And, you know, it really takes away from that. Jin-Kei is good enough that she is usable. It's not like she's trash. But yeah, Jin-Kei is not exactly amazing either. But Jin-Kei is alright. Like, she's a good... honestly, the biggest problem with Hypersona, the biggest problem with Jin-Kei is that she makes a lot of sacrifices to be a pure damage-dealing character, but she doesn't actually do that much damage. She does do good damage for a 3-star. She does. But at the cost of doing basically nothing else and having negative survivability. Meanwhile, you have 100 Face, also a 3-star assassin, doing comparable damage, and then having way better utility and survivability, like NP gain rate and that kind of thing. So she's just outclassed. But she's usable. You know, if there's like a big bad rider boss, and like, I want to use Jin-Kei with this, you can do it, right? You can do it. It's just, you're gonna have to work a bit harder. But that can be fun sometimes, though. That being said, it'd be nice if you would buffer. Yeah, we fought a Spriggan that insta-kills you constantly. That was the thing. That was kind of dumb because it was like, you didn't have... There wasn't a lot of ways you could really do that outside of having debuff immunity without removing the gimmick. And then if you remove the gimmick, then it becomes like so easy that it's not really a fight. You know, we just removed the gimmick and murdered it. That was designed pretty badly, in my opinion, because it was so undoable with the gimmick, and then it was so easy without the gimmick. The only way, I think the only way I could really see you doing it is like someone that has debuff immunity and insta-death. So, Arjuna, probably. Because yeah, if I remember correctly, he didn't really take any damage from, like, you know, hit damage reduction. So you'd have to get insta-death to proc, because I don't think anyone can do enough damage. Like, that fight had a really hard gimmick with not allowing you to really do any damage. But yeah, the Arjuna's got the insta-death immunity. But yeah, if you just reset it until insta-death proc, that would probably be the way to do it. But that would be that would take a long time. I miss Bull of Heaven. I really like that boss fight because it's hard enough that you got to take it seriously. You need to try. You need to think about it, right? It's like a you know, kind of a big epic fight, but it's not. The gimmicks aren't so. They don't like strangle you, so it's not like you have to use things in this specific area. You know, you can still be a bit flexible with the style of team that you want to use, right? I really like that, and because the boss had so much health. It's gonna be a longer fight for most people that aren't, like, you know, going Omega Super Whale mode, right? So it'd be, yeah. So that really made it pretty fun. That's kind of funny, is that because I already cleared this, there's no red stuff, and the stuff is just sitting there. It's kind of weird. Maybe that's a unique thing about this map, though, instead of the other map. I should have moved that up one thing. And another thing I liked about the Bull of Heaven fight. This is probably the only time you're ever going to hear me say this, chat, but Ishtar was good there, right? Like, Ishtar was a really fun element there because it it made a class useful that would otherwise not be useful for the Bullet Heaven part of the fight, and so it gave you a lot of different ways of approaching it, right? Okay, maybe you bring a Lancer to just kill Ishtar, or a Berserker to just kill Ishtar, and then you get rid of them. Or maybe you try to bring something like Enkidu that is mostly there to get rid of Ishtar, but can still, be helpful and keep, giving you a hand when you're fighting the Bull of Heaven because it's got divinity. And the Bull of Heaven, the whole thing about Bull of Heaven is his crits are devastating, and Enkidu has crit down, right? So there was a really fun balance there where, like, sometimes maybe you just want to use a Lancer, blow her up, get rid of the Lancer or the Berserker, and then just transition into lots of assassins and supports and stuff, or maybe not. Maybe you want to keep the Lancer around. That was really well done. I find they have not really. I've seen them attempt to have that kind of thing in other fights, but I think that's the best they've ever done it. Right. A lot of the other times when they've tried to have a pre-fight, I don't find it as good. The other time I think they did a good job with that actually though was the monkeys. The fucking monkeys. The New Year's Challenge quest where you fight the 3 monkeys. That if I remember correctly, you had to kill all 3 of them at the same time. Because then Benny would come in from the back row, and she was the main fight. But if the monkeys were still alive, either she would buff the shit out of the monkeys or vice versa or some crap. I can't remember exactly how it worked. And each of the monkeys had a massive damage resistance buff. So it was hard to AoE them, right? So if you do a Buster AoE, one of the monkeys was super Buster resistant. So it was better to single target them each. And that there was a lot of ways of approaching that, right? And you could even use Proto-Coup because they were beasts. And that was really cool. So I liked that. That was actually a pretty good challenge quest where you had the kind of, big boss fight with Benny where she's got lots of health and that's the main thing you're there to deal with. But then you've got to still respect the monkeys or they'll fuck you up. And then that limits your team a lot. And so you're not going to be able to kind of take on Benny quite so optimally. And then maybe you try to have what's on the field still be useful for Benny, but maybe not, right? I like that. So those are the 2 times I think they've done that kind of thing, and it was good. And then I swear to God, the monkeys are designed to be frustrating. They do that. Everything about them in that event was just they were there to be shitheads, and they absolutely were. And then, funnily enough, they've used the monkeys in events later, and they're actually easier. They don't always do the autopilot remove your evade shit and all that crazy obnoxious stuff that they would do. I've noticed though that they have 2 sets of AI for them, and sometimes they have used the harder version, but I've seen them tone the monkeys down a lot in a lot of stages. I do find it funny that the other servants do attacks and stuff for their board clearing stuff, but Oki just throws her face at it. And they made it so she's overwhelmingly the one you're going to use a lot, right? The other ones are specialized for specific tile setups. I would say use Oki the most, then Raiko, and you hardly ever use Melt. Actually, I don't think I've used Melt even once. Maybe I'm missing something, and I do think you could use Melt to kind of figure out where the red things are easier. I think on this board, they don't have the red auras, so they're a bit harder to find. And when you beat them, it doesn't beat all of the ones in that spot. Yeah, that seems to be the thing here. So anyone really far in the event? Is this the final board or is there one more? I kind of feel like there's going to be one more. I could have done that slightly better if I set that up. So I guess the 4th is all there is for today, but then yeah, there might be one more, okay. Yeah, I bet you there's one more then. I'm guessing we're time locked right now. I'm not finding any fights yet because I just want to clear as much of the board as possible, but we're gonna, fight all these gimmicky bullshit fights. Just give me a minute here. Just trying to get as much of this nonsense out of the way as possible. Wait, is there more main story? Yeah, there is. God damn it. Oh, hey, we get to... Let's see if she's a threat to humanity, because I bet you this is a fight with Van Gogh. And if there's ever a time I don't feel like being nice, it's when fighting foreigners. How disgusting do we want to get, chat? We could totally give him an event CE. Let's not. Let's go vanilla for now and see what happens. God, we could use bonus CE and then we could use the Oki boost, which gives you Buster up. So his NP would just be insane. Double scatty event CE. That's when I'd use Ku though, because Ku's quick. Oh wait, that's not the foreigner I was thinking of. Oh, that's annoying. That's buff success chance down or buff block, whatever, so I can't taunt. So I can't get rid of my my taunt walls. That's kind of annoying. George! You're in the way! That's a pretty obnoxious gimmick that they got going on here. I can clear the debuff, but not really necessary this turn, I would say. Oh my god, they gave her RNG evade. That's like my least favorite mechanic ever. Am I the only one? I feel like this is the dumbest mechanic they have ever made, is when they do RNG evade or RNG invulnerability, because it's pure RNG, and then like, so it can be unbelievably easy or unbelievably hard, right? So yeah, I always find this to be, okay, here, hold on. We can probably still win because, you know, lol, I can do this and so on and so forth. But, I have so little respect for this gimmick that I'm gonna do something that I normally don't do. Yep, it's the Yangtze. Cause I mean, when in doubt, it's good anyway, and then oh look, it also has Pierce and Vulnerability on it for some fucking reason. I should bring 2 cards with burn in case one of our, you know, types gets sealed, so. I think I've got it equipped on someone else, because this game... I really dislike the foreigner class. Hokusai is like the least egregious of the lot, I would say. Maybe. But I don't really like any of them. This could bring debuff clear. Or heal boost or whatever. That'd be good too. Oh, this UI, dude. I mean, the Outer God Lovecraftian concept is awesome. I like that that's one reason why I dislike Foreigners so much. Is because they took an awesome concept and just made it a bunch of fucking lollies. I don't think anybody reads Lovecraftian stuff and is like, yeah, lollies fit here. I guess I should bring Chin Gong. It's funny, that's like a staple in like Japanese horror, is like the creepy little girl, but I've always found that so uncreepy. Kids are not creepy. Kids are stupid, right? Kids are like drooling morons, right? And I know this because I was a kid once, right? Kids are not scary. They're dumb, right? Like, so kids are so unfucking scary to me. I think it's like the least intimidating thing ever is a child, right? I am not even remotely intimidated by a child. I think what people are intimidated by is accidentally hurting the child, right? That's what people are scared of. Children are obnoxious, sure, loud, you know, and obnoxious, but I don't find them scary at all. Pretty sure this account only got one copy of the Yank CE, so I didn't even roll. I just used summon tickets. So when it comes back, though, I'll probably try to limit break it just because it's so good. It just sucks because Brunhilde is the only Summer 5 servant I care about at all, and she's cool, but I'm not like, oh yeah, I want to NP5 that, like, not at all. So it's not a great time to roll, but that CE is probably never coming back, and it is so powerful that it's nice to have in case. Oh yeah, Tomoe's fine too. Excuse me. I guess I'll try to like get MP2 Brunhilde and like MP2 Tomoe. Like I might split it up or something. Yeah, Tomoe's all right. Yang isn't on part 2. Wait, the CE's not? I thought it was on both. Maybe I'm out of my mind. Did they have a different CE? Yeah, ultimately you gotta roll in the one that's got the CE, so it feels bad. It's funny, I don't think I've ever like actually rolled hard on a summer banner, except for like the Edmund one, but that wasn't exactly like typical summer banner. Like I've never ever rolled on like the new waifu banner, right? I remember in my old account I threw summon tickets at Ruler Martha, and that's why my old account has Ruler Martha, but I don't think I've ever like gone ham on one of those, because the summer thing is just not my shtick. So I think this lasts for... Oh, it lasts for a certain number of buff attempts. That's really nasty. That means I should have cast Buster up on turn 1 though, because then you could use Atlas and stuff and do it again. That's actually really nasty for a solo. I wonder if you do the buff success chance command code, if you can still land them. I wonder how much buff success chance down this is. Or it might just be pure block and it'll block everything no matter what. That's probably what it is, because it's got the X. Oh my god, Ari, you're right. Oh my god, hold on. We gotta take this seriously. We'll I don't know if we had to take it seriously, but we're going to. We're gonna try to put command codes on to just like throw away. That'll probably work, I bet, because there's a few command codes that will apply buffs. Why is that command code? Like it's funny because this is why it annoys me that it's not very good. It's one of the worst command codes in the game, and that annoys me because it's a 5-star. Right, most of the 5-star command codes are quite good, right? And the premise is good, right? Like the idea is good, but oh my god, it's so bad. Alright, here, we're gonna have to unequip a few things and stuff. We gotta get this all set up proper. Oh yeah, I put it on Ku because I couldn't be bothered to change his command codes around. Who's got the heal boost? The heal boost is another one. And the buff success chance would work too, just because it applies a buff to you. Okay. So, preferably we want the 2 burns, but we might not be able to... Okay, that's the heal boost, so that'll work. And then we'll do the Ruler Bunny, so that's 2. There are other ones we could do though. I guess we could get rid of this one. Let's see. There's the NP damage up ones. Those would work. That's kind of sensible because we might get... this can work, but it's only every 3rd time that it would work, so that's not nearly as good as some of the other ones. A damage cut would work. I guess we'll do damage cut because I don't think I would use the NP up. Although I don't want to unequip it and re-equip it because it's on Skullfucker right now. I'm lazy. Although NP damage up might be on someone too, actually. Fuck. Okay, fine. Gotta scroll all the way down, and then I have to re-equip it to her if I use her again later. Because she's probably the unit that benefits from this the most, which is why I have it equipped on her. This is such a bizarre way to use command codes. I don't think we've ever needed to use them this way before, ever. Yeah, Abigail is divine. Almost all the foreigners are divine because of the outer god nonsense. There's actually some command codes too that you could eat it up, like Ox King. If you brought Ox King, that would take a charge off. Abby is divine because she's connected to an outer god. Is it worth it? I guess you do this, actually. Because that's 1-2. And it's not like there's no way Chin's Gong's gonna live long enough to get that anyway. I guess I should do this first because maybe it could give me quick up, but that doesn't really matter. Like it doesn't. We wanted to. So if it applies art up, it does apply it before the card damage. So if it applies art up to itself, that art card gets the benefit, which is nice. It's just that doesn't happen very often. Yeah, if you don't use the respec items, they're gonna go to waste later because they do nothing now. So you might as well, while NA's in the period of, before the free respecs, you might as well be respecking for things. Like, there's no reason not to be. Wow, she actually hits crazy hard. And she did not kill Chin Gong, kills bad. She crit when she had crit down too. And we got a quick up, and then we got a quick crit. That's something. Please kill Chin Gong. Really? Really? God! Fucking 6 actions in. She fucking guarded the defense down, which means we did less damage. Feels bad. Because he applies the defense down before NP damage. Come on, art up. Or quick up. Just not buster up. There we go, good enough. He seems to only do that. Could probably break this turn. Yet again, anything but buster up. Might not break. Should've been focusing more on damage then. Damn. Alright, we gotta break now and then NP. It's almost worth it to NP just for the stun, but it's kind of too late now. We're gonna have to take this actually a bit more seriously. I'm gonna have to make sure the beginning goes better. Because that's just a lot of health, and she hits so fucking hard. I'm surprised she does so much normal card damage. I'm okay with that though, it makes it an interesting fight, but most of the content's been so easy, and I wasn't really expecting them to do that much damage. So yeah, we kind of whipped our NP gain there. So we need to take the first health bar more seriously, because we could have NP'd twice by now, which that's not great. I should also probably save my debuff clear. Because yeah, I wanted to doing quick art right now would be really good. Because it's a like almost guaranteed crit, and then we could get another NP really fast. So we really want to land the defense down this time. Wow, that's really unlucky. That did a lot of damage going out the window between those two NPs. I think we're going to lose. I think we can win though. We just need to, one, not have Chin Gong live so long, and then we need to make sure we do a better job on the first health bar. I gotta focus on damage, not NP gain, because you're gonna have the NP because of the break bar. The time you have to wait, and we gotta save the debuff clear for the stun. And on like a turn where like the art seal actually matters. Yeah, she got stupid fucking lucky. Like, she doesn't have good magic resist or anything. That was pretty bullshit there. Okay, let's try that again. Although, you know what's sad? Is the whole reason this fight is a bit harder is because they're expecting you to bring an event CE. That's why. So then it's actually not that hard. But I'll take it though. If that gets me interesting fights, I'll take it. I'll be right back. I need to get water. I have returned. Okay. It's kind of nice though how you can just get rid of the debuff right away though. Shame we can't get rid of it on Chin Gong though. Cat, do you think we'll ever get another version of Enkidu? God damn it, woman! Lisa killed Chin Gong, okay, Jesus! No, I think we might, he's pretty popular. What they might do though is they might add like Kingu as his own servant with like a different design and stuff. They might do that. But that's fine. But I think we'll see. I mean, Enkidu's pretty popular, honestly, and then he'll get more popular when Fate Strange Fake it gets an anime and stuff. So I think it could happen. It might be a while though. Like, I don't think it's gonna happen, like, soon, by any means, but... They've been hinting at Berserker and Kidu. They've been hinting at it outside of FGO and inside of FGO. That being said, he might not be playable. I could see Berserker and Kidu being, like, a giant monstrosity, so I don't know, we'll see. I mean, I think it's unlikely, though, that they would never touch on Berserker and Kidu, because they've talked about it in Fate Strange Fake quite a bit, and they've been hinting at him in some of the more recent interludes and stuff, so I think it's going to happen at some point. I'm actually kind of hopeful, because, you know, they said they're not planning on stopping FGO anytime soon. Of course not, because it, you know, makes all this money. And I think they've been sowing some seeds for just future villains and future ideas that they're not necessarily planning on using right away, but like Warp Spasm Coup, I think the reason they were kind of dropping hints at that isn't because they're planning on using him in Lost Belt, because I think they're planning on using him way down the line, right? Same for Berserker and Kidu and some other things, so. I actually think 3.0 is a really good opportunity for them to add a lot of characters that people have wanted and that have like existed in FGO but aren't playable. But because those characters might not fit into the Lost Belt, but if they're making a brand new story and it's probably going to be pretty wide-ranging and stuff, it'd be easy for them to get like Roland in and stuff like that. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to that, and I'm hoping they do a good job with it. Now they could also disappoint the shit out of me, so we'll have to see, but... Okay. Quick chain versus just doing decent damage. Probably quick chain. If we get some nice crits later, that could be pretty good. And we need to apply burn anyway. Oh, Archer Herc. The promised land that we will never reach. Yeah, I'm trying to actually play good this time, because this fight actually kind of matters, so... Gotta not suck. Quick wouldn't necessarily have been bad, because we could crit next turn, that'd be good. But we got the Buster up, so... No, I think Core Spendo is the only one we're gonna get. Well, I mean, maybe way down the line, right? Like years and years down the line, maybe they would, you know, revisit that kind of thing. Especially because Chinese servants are really popular in China. Surprise, surprise, and that's a huge demographic for them. So, yeah, maybe, but I would not be holding your breath anytime soon. Put it that way. So this is a really good turn to use my art card, but it's a really bad turn to... Hey, we landed the defense down, how about that? If we crit, we could potentially break here. Not looking good. Yeah, the Buster is the one that we really wanted to crit there. Fuck, well... Damn it, actually if any of them had crit, it would have worked. That was closer than I was thinking. So, this is probably just, you know, 15,000 heal, you know, a slight overkill there, but, I don't want to get ganked. Senzu Bean, yeah, pretty much. We're looking really good on this one, though. We've spaced out our abilities a lot better, and we're ready for the stun if she casts it. Yep, there it is. No need to remove it yet, though. Okay, now we want to get rid of it. We have the other debuff, too. Although... No, it's fine to remove it now. Okay, no reason to use Atlas yet. No, actually there is. It sucks because we could get back. Wait, hold on. If I NP again, then I should wait because I'll use the Buster Up on that one. Because I could get my evade back and then use Atlas, but that would mean this NP would not have the Buster Up. That would mean I'd have to NP again. But I probably will NP again. But you could also land the art up right now and get an art up for your crit art card, which would be pretty awesome. It's probably not gonna matter. I feel like we're gonna win either way. I guess we'll do it now then. Because I don't think it's gonna matter either way. I don't know, quick might be better, just to make stars. And it's got the quick up, and if you make stars, you crit, and crit is NP gain. This is Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow. That is such a edgy name. I don't know how else to put it. Because yeah, see, then I could have done it now, right? So, but I think it will win on our next NP either way. So, I don't think it really mattered which way I did it. Quick up, quick up. And hard up, good enough. So, legitimately, there are a few servants that I actually think can get okay value out of the Ruler Artoria command code. And they're servants that will frequently do Buster Quick Art. And you put it on the Buster card. And that way, no matter what it procs, it will give a bonus to one of the 3 cards. The problem is, no matter what it procs, you will only get the bonus for 1 card. Right? Not quite Coog, because Coog does do Buster Quick Art sometimes, but he also does Quick a lot. He does Buster Art Buster Quick, Art Quick, right? He is so all over the map in his card colors that you're not, it needs to be someone that is going to frequently do Buster Quick Art. And really, Coog doesn't. Like, Coog doesn't do anything consistently because he's constantly changing, like, kind of combo he wants to do. Which is one reason I like Coog, by the way, is because what's meta is shifting so much and it's kind of fun like that. But yeah, I don't think it'd actually be that good on him. I will say, it wouldn't be too bad on him, though, because the one consistent thing with, well, it's not that consistent, but the one kind of consistent thing is you do use his Buster card a lot. Although not when you're NPing. So, but when you are doing like Buster Art Buster or Buster Quick or something like that, you know, you use the Buster card a lot. But generally, there's just better things, so. Then, I wouldn't say Masashi, because Masashi likes to do Buster, and Art Buster Quick, and then sometimes Buster Quick Art, but it's just a lot of triple Buster, and then it's kind of, and sometimes the art card goes first and stuff. So it's kind of, I mean, again, she could get some kind of value out of it, but it wouldn't be like the best ever. It's hard for it to be a meta command code, to be honest. It's fun, though. It's a fun command code. It's just, shit. Oh, lol. I forgot. This isn't even close at all. It shows how much better it is when you play meta-like, because we haven't used invulnerability. We're gonna stun her again, so that's another turn, and then we have invulnerability. And when I could have played it the other way, we could have gotten the evade back again too. No need though, again, because she's gonna die. But that's kind of funny. You know what? For the memes, let's see if he can land the Buster up. No. No. Of course her NP is killing her. What about anything I just said implied otherwise? Oh, Mighty number 9. That was a thing. Well, I'd imagine it's the Outer Gods, because the Outer Gods were the ones controlling, Van Gogh anyway. It's just old god juice shenanigans. Anything gonna happen with the whale? I'm so disappointed that all the Lovecraftian stuff is just like connected to lolly bullshit instead of like actually having fate interact with Lovecraftian stuff. It could be so much cooler if they'd taken it more seriously. Like seeing all the legendary heroes and historical figures, you know, deal with like the really otherworldly, you know, horror stuff would be really cool, but nope! Abby's okay. She's like, story-wise, she's probably the best, because that was actually a serious story, for God's sakes. So yeah, that one is probably, that's like the only time I think it was alright. Like, because Salem, the whole thing was kind of Lovecraftian stuff. Okay, I guess we have to get more points. Although we literally are like, we're so close to getting the points for that, so. Honestly, I don't think Outer Gods are very good pairs for painters from both a like story perspective and also just from like a logistics standpoint, right? Because it really is disrespectful to change the art of artists, right? Like that's a pretty disrespectful thing to do. Especially, it's one thing if you're like if you yourself are painting something as like honoring them and making a new painting, right? But when you're literally putting in someone that represents Van Gogh or represents Bob Ross or what have you, you kind of got to put their work in it, right? You can't have Mozart playing someone else's music, right? So I don't think that works really well, right? So if you wanted to do like, you know, the Yellow King stuff, you're going to want a lot of Yellow King imagery and all that kind of stuff. So you don't want to do like Van Gogh's paintings but warped by, you know, Outer God stuff, because that's very disrespectful to the real artist and the real legacy and everything. So I think it's better to have them connected to... Honestly, I wouldn't have them connected to any historical figures, right? Because it doesn't make sense, right? It's like they should be representing themselves like they actually do, right? And if you want them like possessing someone, that's fine, but they should do it like Quetz, where they're possessing just somebody that you don't even know, right? Like, you need the actual... If you're gonna represent Van Gogh, right? There's no need for the Elder God nonsense, right? Like, they can be separate entities, this is okay, right? You want Lovecraftian stuff to be Lovecraftian stuff, right? You don't need it to be, you know, fused with other historical figures and stuff, because they're so alien, they're so their own thing, right? And again, you can have them like not there as themselves, you can have them possessing someone or influencing someone, that's fine, but I don't think it's a good idea to honestly use you know, actual figures and stuff. By the way, Bob Ross is awesome. Just saying. Just go all the way to the corner here. Eat the neat. Yeah, it's pretty much this event. She does a good job, though. If only this worked slightly differently. You get so much value out of that. Okay, we should have enough points now. Man, we're not getting to do any of the fun mini-bosses. It's taking so long to go with other stuff. Oh, got all the command codes. Also, that command code is just, it's disgusting if you're doing the burn stuff. If you're not doing the burn stuff, it's not really worth it. You should probably use the Ishtar one instead. But you can put this on any card color. Massive crit. I mean, holy shit, dude. Like, this, if you crit, is a 30% damage bonus. That is super significant, right? That's a much bigger damage spike than you're going to see for most command codes. And then you use it with like the Yang CE, right? And so between the two of those, that card is doing just massive bonus damage. Still though, for when you're fighting servants, the Gilgamesh one is like the best because the Gilgamesh one is a 20% bonus, and that applies to crits and applies to non-crits, and you know, so it's just, you know, 20% more damage, right? That's so good. I am glad that they put some effort into this event in terms of gameplay, because they haven't been doing that in a while, so this is kind of nice. There's a lot of things I don't like about the event, but seriously, the gameplay is much better than what we've had in a lot of previous events, so really weird seeing him on our side. I guess that's time gated. Or maybe I need I think I need 5,000 more points and it's time gated. That's what it looks like. I can get 5,000 points like it's nothing though. That's not going to be hard to do at all. Alright, let's see if we can clear this map. And then we have so many mini bosses sitting there for us. So. Bones. I don't think they've given Bones this entire event. Those are worthless. Like, they give those out quite often, and I have so few characters that use them that I'm never gonna need them. Like, whenever I do need them, I'm gonna have way more than necessary. So it's a pretty underwhelming reward for me. It feels bad. Can't win them all. How does she get back to the ship? Does she have to swim each time? That would be... Can you imagine? You have to swim back, and then the second you get back, you get fired out again. It's like, oh, I finally made it back. And then you just get launched, and you have to swim again. And that'd be one thing if you were like a servant like Achilles that's like, you know... workout Chad and super fast and everything, right? But that's not really her cup of tea anyway, so that's pretty rough. God, the point ladder in this. That's one thing that I think we can all agree on is not the best part of this event. That's a pretty shitty point ladder that they made. Yeah, Dantes, yeah, just instantly, you shoot him out and he's instantly back. I feel like he should be in this event due to the way his powers work. He could get into this realm very easily. And he also is a summer servant, so it'd be kind of dumb if they don't use him for this event. I like how the Outer Gods never get to partake in actual main story, other than Salem. But even Salem is kind of a, you know, optional side story, right? They're always in events and stuff where they don't really get to actually be that serious. Even if the event is serious, right? It's not, you know, all the event stories are so like off in their corner, right? And they make them not all that connected to. They're not that relevant to what's actually happening in the main story. They're very self-contained, and it's like. It just kind of sucks because I think Outer Gods could be pretty cool if they got, you know, mixed in with, like, you know, Alien God versus Outer Gods, right? You know, Alien God's kind of got his head up his own ass with how important he is, right? And how powerful he thinks he is. And, you know, having him fight an Outer God would be really cool, but, you know, that's some, like, Godzilla versus King Kong kind of shit, but it's not gonna happen. Okay, so I think if there was any treasure in those, they'd be glowing, so I don't have to clear any of those. So we've got all the important stuff here. Although I can clear those just cuz, but no rush. Alright. So that's probably one of the shape-shifting fucks. That probably is too. Okay, these all being question mark is making me worried that it's going to be stupid. They're high level though, so these should be real. Okay, slightly cheating because of the event CE, but why not? Feels bad for Tuna. Do you mean like the ones you need for the cannon shots? This looks really not like a mini-boss gimmick fight. This looks like another filler nonsense thing. Yep, I don't think this is actually a good one. Feels bad. Yeah, these kind of suck. I don't know. All these final ones might be like this, and maybe they're saving the good stuff for the last one. Because all of them were the question mark thing, and these seem, all the question mark ones seem to be like this. They did not kill Leonidas! God damn it! Kinda too soon for the heal, but let's be real, I'm not gonna need the heal. Hey, Say, thank you for the resub for 4 months, I appreciate that. Got the monkey and the penguins. Damn it. Man! Could have just killed them all right there. I'm doing an art chain because I don't want any chance of them getting rid of my MP. And his new animations are so good, dude. Him and Karna, they both got good animation updates, which is nice because we've had so many bad animation updates. Also, I don't know what kind of debuff they're trying to do, but it's not happening. I tell you, Arjuna probably has the best, like, just upfront anti-debuff. It's him and Orion. Orion has to NP, but then Orion can pretty easily keep anti-debuff up forever, where Arjuna can just click button and have 5 turns, and if you use Atlas, you can sort of have 10 turns. Like I think I turn into a gap in there, but like that is so good. I can't remember if Mev's is debuff immune or mental debuff immune. I think it's debuff immune, but hers is just 3 turns, where Arjuna's is 5. Like, that's a long time. If they were trying to stun, then that was pretty useful. Dude, are these all going to be like this? I think every single one of these... Is that why the background is just black swirly stuff? That's so lame, because all the other floors had, like, actually gimmicky, like, cool stuff. Okay, we'll do the farthest one away, because that's the most likely one to be something legit. And if it's not, then I guess we'll just, like, wreck all of these. We'll give Arjuna another shot, because that wasn't a real fight. But I have a feeling they're all going to be like this. Yeah, Arjuna's pretty good gameplay-wise. He's not the best archer in the game, but he's damn good. Does quite a lot of damage, can get his MP rather easily, has a, and then in a niche, he is one of the best, right? If you do need an AoE archer and there's a debuff problem, he's kind of your guy, and then he's got loads of anti-normal card damage too. It's one of these again. So everything on this floor is just crap. I don't get it. Why is the latest floor nothing but nonsense? I don't get it. Yeah, hopefully there's some fun stuff on the last floor. I will say though, that Lancer stage was awesome, dude. Oh yeah, I did record that Landling, you know, Pretty Boy versus the Lancer stage. It didn't go as well as it did on stream, but he still won. But I don't know if I made a mistake or if I just got unlucky, but it was a bit closer. But still got it, so worked out. You know what? I should probably do this. Gotta get our MP, for God's sakes. I tell you though, I don't think it's gonna make a very good video. I'll do my best, right? But it's very interesting gameplay, but from a visual standpoint, and like if you don't understand the gimmicks and like how most sabers like really struggle there, it's kind of like, okay, I'm just watching Dion stall and normal card a bunch of guys down, right? You're not gonna know, like really get it at all, so like it's gonna be hard to make that, and it's you know pretty long, so. Yeah, no, he can keep his, yeah, he, of course, because it lasts 5 turns, not 3 turns. So yeah, he can have 10 turns of debuff immunity. That's ridiculous. And it's unlimited charges, right? Like, it's not like, oh, I got debuffed 10 times in 1 turn, so it wears off. It's like, no, you can debuff as much as they want, and it's just gonna no effect. That must be so funny against that one boss in that Christmas event. That boss that like has like 14 debuffs per turn or something. If you have Arjuna, it's just gonna say no effect a million times for the whole fight. That's pretty funny. I wish I had thought of that, actually. A whole lot of no. Dion is quite good. The problem is George exists. That's like the whole thing. It's like he's a 4-star that basically does the same thing that a 2-star does. And a lot of times the 2-star is actually better. There are times Dion is better. Especially if you're going around the wheel, for both George and Dion, sometimes you want them to live, you got their taunt at max rank, and you want to have them live and taunt again, right? And George is the best against a caster in that situation, obviously, he's amazing against casters, but then Dion is going to be like that for lancers and stuff, so, you know, Dion has uses, it's just, that's pretty niche compared to just the use for like a general taunt, and because George is kind of better and is a lower team cost, George is generally the favored one. Yeah, generally, deathing ghosts is easy, but we haven't been doing it much lately. Guess I'm gonna clear these out just cause. Good points anyway. Yeah, maybe we just mess around with the other floors, cause these kind of suck. That's really disappointing. Well, we haven't done all. I haven't even looked at some of like some of these we haven't even tried yet. Like neither of these we've even tried. Oh yeah, we need to clear. We haven't cleared the zone yet. Whoops. Yeah, these are the ones with the background like that, like with a bigger thing instead of like just generic bullshit. They're normally more meaningful, so these should be fine. Okay, that's good. We got plenty down here. Yeah, this looks like the good stuff. I don't know why there's always so much drama around Dion in that department, because they made it so drama-y, right? Like the way they did it. Like, canonically, Dion can just change his gender to either one, right? So, and he literally says he'll just change it to whichever one the master prefers. So, I don't know why people get into the bullshit on that one. I'm not talking about what's happening in chat right now. I'm talking about the Fate fan base in general. Like, Dion shenanigans come up all the time. When, like I said, it's not even confusing or complicated because they like made it very simple. Oh, I shouldn't have put it there because we would have gotten the red space for free. So that was a slight waste there. Oh, there's another one. Nice. Alright, I might just start fighting these. It's probably good enough. I'll have to do some farming though later tonight, so if I want to clear like the next floor, I gotta make sure I've got the free quest stuff done. Man, you can clear this event though without ever using apples, because there's enough days left that you could definitely do it. Here, I'll grab this real quick. Oh, fuck, I can't. Well, no, yeah, I can do that. One lower, I guess. Although that'll hit the red stuff, so we'll do it there anyway. Just want the loot! Besides, I bet you to do the challenge quest or whatever, you probably have to clear every board 100%, so. I have such a bad... I don't know why. I'm not really sure why. Something about this event is giving me vibes that the challenge quest is going to be fucked up, but, we'll see. Alright, let's do... Is that the whale again? I think that might be the whale again. Jesus, they have you fight him a lot. A rider, berserker, assassin. I like that loot though. Let's do this one. You know, I wouldn't mind trying to do some Kuretsugu stuff, but that one is level 1, so probably not that one. Okay, we have the damage CE. That might be too much, but we'll see, you know, we can always save the stage and you know, close out. So. Yeah, we should do some Lee. I feel like I don't use Lee enough. I don't even know why. I like Lee. He's cool. I would not be surprised actually if the challenge quest was Gilios. They kind of like picking stuff as like part of the event, but not like the main focus of the event. They do that a lot. That is a giant boar. Okay. Got this symbol is always bad because it normally results in, you know, get fucked unless you remove it. So we'll see. Yep. That's looking like damage cut. The question is, how big of a damage cut is it? Because NPs might still do damage. I bet Cersei can't turn that pig into a pig, indeed. Let's see. We can face tank here, it's fine. Even the crits are doing 0 damage though. It looks like it has 2 things. It looks like it's got damage cut and something else. It might have like defense up and wow, could you really? Okay, champ. It's not great. I think crit down might be good here. Yeah, a little bit. Alright, this will tell us kind of what his gimmicks are, if this does damage or not. I have a feeling he has damage cut and defense up, or damage resistance. Damage resistance is so much stronger than defensive, by the way. But, okay, yep, that's not great. Kind of want to, before I go removing his gimmick, I kind of want to see what happens if we bring someone armor ignore. Because maybe it's like Siegfried, where if you have armor ignore, you get rid of half of it until you still do good damage. Or good enough damage. I haven't done a setup like that in so long. That could be pretty fun, actually. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, pretty much all of these you can remove their gimmick generally. Let me think. Who do we? Oh, we should use Shiki. This is a Shiki moment. I guess I'll use my Shiki, because, so let's see, what do we want to use to support? I mean, you know, Castoria is the good one, but we don't want, let's go with, like, let's do Mozart, that's always fun. Ongra solo, yeah. Give me a second, I gotta jump on the other account. Ain't nobody else gonna have Mozart ready to go. I do Mozart Hohenheim. Or double Mozart if we're going that ham. Generally, gold bosses have like the same insta-death resistance as servants. Not always, but sometimes. So I'm hoping he's not going to be insta-death. Although who knows? Maybe the gimmick here is you're supposed to insta-death them, but I would think not. I made my Shiki 10-10-10 recently, so I've actually been kind of looking forward to using that. Because I got like the vanilla Shiki, right? Just level 80, but then maxed, right? So, it's kind of fun. My Hans would actually be fine too, though. But we're going for burst damage here. Am I messing up my window size this bad? Hold on. How not to use Samsung Flow, by the way. That's better. Okay. Where is my Shiki? There she is. Okay. Before we go using an event CE, let's see what our damage can be like without one, right? But I have a feeling they're wanting you to go Blammo. Well, that's a way to go Blammo. Although it'll take us forever to get our NP that way, so we're gonna have to like... That's when you do that, but let's not do that. Try to get her NP and then switch. Go Mozart number 2. Or we start with Hans. Let's do that. Well, Mash can give 20% battery though. Yeah, we'll stick with Mash. See how she do. Nice, simple team setup here. Yeah, see that right there? Whenever they have the red thing, that means they can remove the gimmick. So. Yeah, I know. If it's just an insta-death thing, I'm gonna be kind of pissed. Oh, I see. He's got a crit up thing too. So yeah, crit down would be really good here. I didn't see that last time because I wasn't paying attention. Oh, fuck. That's VR mash. That's fuck. Oops. Fuck, why does it have to load so much? Good God. Okay, let's try that again. So I don't know what Eri just deleted, but somebody got wrecked. Okay, definitely do that. Now, I kind of need to give the thing to Mozart, but it'd be nice to give it to Shiki just for the battery. Okay, Although, if Mozart could get his NP, that'd actually be good. We'll do this then. I was trying to crit over 2 turns, but we'll just do it like this. Although, fucking Mozart didn't get an art card. That sucks. If he got an art card, he would have gotten his NP, which would have been really nice. Okay. This sucks though, because now Shiki can't get, like, there'd be so many ways to get Shiki's NP right now. Like if she had an art card, the way the art cards were spread out was pretty bad here. I didn't even touch my screen. I don't know how that happened. Did Eri just smite someone that was unworthy? Was that what happened? Wait, I think we're being 1 turn too slow. I think we're gonna lose our attack buff. No. We'll be fine. Okay. Okay, so I want to do the other Mozarts in P, but we got the art chain. But I don't know if burst damage might be the only damage that matters, right? So the defense down for the NP might be way more impactful than what we would ever get out of a crit. Like the crits might not even matter. Okay, well that's probably, with how much damage resist this guy seems to have, this is probably the way. It's disappointing though. This could be a time that the double salami might work, although the boss is AoE again. Why is every time double salami would be good to make the boss AoE? I feel like they're doing this. Oh my god. Okay. So we might want to bring a damage CE and see if that helps. This kind of feels like either insta-death or dot damage is the way to go. Anybody want to translate what that says? Because I'm kind of curious as to why that With all that buff stacking, it still did 0. I'm gonna BRB real quick. I'm gonna run to the restroom, but yeah, that's crazy. We did 0 there. Oh right, yeah, you had a damage CE on what's her face, and we did 0 as well. Although we weren't buff stacking. I might try one more time to go super ham on it. All right, I'll be right back. I got an idea, chat. So, because this boss doesn't heal itself, we could do double salami like we did before and not have to kill in one turn. And even though the boss is AoE, we might be able to make it work anyway. It'll be tough because the enemy has such a low hit count. Wait. Oh, that's the... Wait, what? Did I not use one of the art-ups? What's happening right now? Did I not use one of the art-ups? Not, I don't think it would have mattered, but I don't think I used, because we still have that, I still have this art-up, so I don't think I used that. That's a whoops moment. Well, I think the gimmick here is you're supposed to remove the gimmick, right? I want to see if we can find a way without doing that. I think double salami might work though, even with the boss being AoE. Raise the critical rate and increase the special resistance only when the imaginary number attribute is given. Give the imaginary number attribute... What? What? Is it talking about if you have a bonus damage? Or that doesn't make any sense though. I feel like, I'm confused. That there's definitely some kind of event shenanigans that it's like making it do... It sounds like it has straight damage cut and then a special damage cut that only applies for certain things. Okay, so... we're gonna try Shiki one more time, and we're gonna go as ham as we possibly can. And that's probably not gonna work. And then I'm gonna try salami. Wait, did I buy the... I thought I hadn't bought one of the CE copies because... what the fuck? I thought I hadn't bought it because I was like, oh, maybe I get a second one as a drop, right? Just in case, but I'm out of my mind. It's mostly flavor. So basically, it has damage resistance. Right? That's the important part. I'm still so on the fence if this CE is going to be good or not. It is not, I will say, it is nice when you want a bit of extra damage on a unit like Orion or whatever, but you also want stars, right? It's a nice middle ground on that front. So, because, you know, making your own stars, you know, it's definitely nice. You know, having a few extra stars to work with certainly isn't a bad thing, but it's just, what I don't like about it is that it doesn't do anything for your NP. Nothing. You get no bonus damage for your NP. And you only get bonus damage if you crit. You get a lot, but every single time you attack and you don't crit, you're kind of taking away from the bonus damage you get when you do crit, right? And same for when you NP, you're taking away from the bonus damage. So, I don't know, the math doesn't seem all that there. Orion, I could see it being good on, though. And maybe somebody else if you're on a team where you're just going to be critting a lot. But yeah, at least it's attack stat. Like, dear God, if it wasn't attack stat. Oh yeah, okay, now this isn't... We use Black Grail, for God's sakes. That's almost as good as using the event CE. So yeah, no, we're gonna do 0 damage. There's no way. It may be Himiko. Okay. Let's change gears here. We've lost. Whoa! Look at all the horse bindos! And even my, my ult has horse bindo slotted as well, I think. I just happened to not have popped up on that one. Yes, my horse bindo, I got him too. What the fuck? He has an event bonus? Yeah, and I guess he's good for farming anyway. You know, while I'm waiting for Lost, let me actually switch. I need to fix his CE, because I've got that random piece of shit on him, because he had... Whatever CE I gave Protoku, he had equipped, so I just gave him garbage. There we go, that's better. Gave him an MLB imaginary around. I'm struggling with flow so much. There we go. Alright, let me think. So this is going to be different than the way we did it. So probably no... We're probably not going to want so much... Well, we might be able to get away with doing demonic. We're definitely not going to use our third skill, though. That's not going to work out. I haven't tried Dex yet, but I need to. But yeah, I've heard they've made Dex a lot better. So I might give that a shot. Wait, you've streamed Lost? Why was I not informed of this? Let's try it like this. Imaginary number damager. So are these saying dots or imaginary number damage? I wonder if there's specific servants that this doesn't work on. Like Yang, because oh my god, there's like that one stage where you're fighting a berserker and they give you a permanent art up. It's so obvious you want you to use Yang. So I wonder if certain servants can do damage anyway. Okay, let's see. I could just stun him right now. That's probably fine. Art chain, I like that. So Beastly, what's your final verdict on Demon Souls? Feels so wrong using her without, like, her third skill. Because that's what really makes her crazy. It's Demon Souls. Yeah, see, that's kind of how I feel. It's like, I don't see really any reason to play it over the original, because I care so little about graphics. And there's a lot of little things that I feel like are worse. I really don't like the new music. I think the original music is way better. And I actually think it's weird that they didn't just use the original music. I'm kind of surprised by that. And like, they changed the voice acting, and they changed Penetrator's design for some reason. I think there's like so many ways they could have made it so much better. Like, they could have, you know, made more armor sets available, like add Penetrator's armor, add Tower Knight's armor. And don't they have, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't they have like a thing where you can go to twink the game? Like, but it's like totally optional. Like, you can, like, you know, switch the stage to be like mirrored and stuff. So they could have done stuff that you could just turn off. If you're like, you know what? I want to just play the original. Fuck you guys. I don't want to play your stupid, you know, changes and all that. But they could have added, like, you know, you toggle something and you can add a lot of like black phantoms to the world to make it harder. And they could have, you know, added more weapons to just change up some things, right? There's a lot of things that I think they could have done to have made it a lot more worthwhile experience instead of it just being a copy-paste of Demon Souls, right? Like, I've played Demon Souls a lot. I don't really care about playing it with just better graphics, right? That's not a selling point to me. I'm not much of a graphics guy. Probably should have saved that for Edmund. Alright, time to go boom. Please land the stun. You have like an 80% chance to stun because he's got the overcharge boost and his passive, so he should stun. Yeah, feels good. They changed Made in Astraya's theme? That's criminal, dude. That's like the best theme in the game. Yeah, obviously it's gonna perform better, and they got like the better directional rolling. Like, there's obviously quality of life improvements, and that's nice, you know, that's good. But $700? Nice? I don't know about that. It's like, you know, it's literally just Demon Souls again with some pretty minor changes, and then some negatives too. Because I think a lot of people are just enjoying like the servers being active again and that kind of thing. Because even Ouroboros has been like, you know, some of the changes aren't so good. And again, I didn't want a copy paste to Demon Souls. I have to stress this. Some people like hold it up as like the best thing ever, but I'm like, it is old, man. Like, I think it's, I know, because I've played it from time to time, and I just find it so much easier than all the other Souls games. And it's kind of boring because of that. And it sucks because I like the atmosphere a lot. I love the atmosphere in Demon Souls and like the music and the characters and everything. There's so many things I love about Demon Souls, but it hasn't aged that well. Oh yeah, Waver's got the flat damage out. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. I'm not sure we're gonna hit pinnacle dots here with just this though. We kind of need one more round. And if we're not using command spells, that's the problem, because we're not using, like, normally you get all of them from her third skill, but because this boss hits so hard, I don't think we're gonna be able to do that. You probably could stack Divinity and like covering fire with a stall team. You could legit do it that way, I would think. Yeah, I don't. We might be able to stall though long enough to get their third skills off. Honestly, this guy doesn't hit as hard as the whale did. He does hit hard, but he doesn't hit as hard. So you might be able to get more NPs off. But yeah, we need one more round of NPs to really get good damage. It's just not quite enough. And the reason it's like good against the whale is because of the command spells. Cause yeah, you're one more round, right? But that, you know, that would do it. But all right, let's see. It's gonna be hard to. I'm trying to think, how do I want to go about trying to keep them alive for a long time? Let me think. So I'm thinking we're gonna want CEs that are survival focused, but getting a quick NP at the start's not bad because then it lessens what you need to do later. Yeah, we should try Yang real quick just to see if that's a thing. Oh my god, that'd be so funny if MHXX worked, actually. I feel like Yang is the most likely one to work because she's like part of the event, where I don't think Abigail is, but I'm not sure. I don't know if I know anybody that has Yang, to be honest. Oh, there we go. They're scuffed as all hell, though. Yeah, maybe we do MHXX just because I want. It'd be kind of hilarious if this worked. Like that would be pretty great if MHX randomly could fuck this thing up. Yeah, it's true. We could just use the scuffed one just to see. That's true. Well, that's a no-go on MHX. Oh, Arjuna's got Yang. The funny thing is, canonically, MHXX is NHX. She's just older, and she got a job. She pays taxes now, right? So she's a bit less silly. That's the reason. There we go. All right, 7/7/10's something. If I had Yang, I wouldn't level her skills either, to be honest. I probably wouldn't even level her. I don't mind Yang, I guess. She's alright, but I don't give a fuck. Like, she's not in, like, the super negative, but she certainly isn't in the positive. We'll get her NP. That's, like, the real test. Doesn't look like she can do damage yet. I don't really get what's going on with this gimmick. They pretty much want you to just remove it, honestly. It's definitely how it seems. We'll do art. We're not really min-maxing. I'm probably gonna do no damage anyway. Can you imagine a stall team though, where you use a servant with divinity and covering fire, and then you just survive. Kill it. I mean, it would work. It would just take a long time. This boss is not like so threatening that you couldn't stall him out. Yeah, we could try bringing specifically imaginary around, or imaginary element, because we've been using the Canis CE. Yeah, that could be good. But I think they gave him 100% crit rate, so you need crit down to not get crit. Oh yeah, you had imaginary around on Okita. Angra would never do enough damage though. Like the best Angra on the planet can do like 60k, right? That's just not nearly enough. And every time you want to do Angra stuff, you're not gonna find a guy that has him level 100, you know, HP foe to 2k and in P5. You know, you're gonna have some like dumbass level, you know, 65 one that's in P2 and is like 654 and has no foe. It's like, and that affects his damage by so much that, yeah, you're on Inago, aren't you? But, yeah, maximum Angra would be interesting to see how much damage you could get out of him. Also, you kind of need to use Merlin for the health boost. The good news is, because the boss is AoE and crits all the time, it wouldn't be too hard to get the damage. You'd have to do it on his NP turn, basically. And then you need to have, like, Medea Lily leveled up, so then after he goes down, you get him back up again. Right, and then you do it, because you'd have to do it like 3 times, at least. You'd have to have Angra go off at least 3 times. That, you know, you would need a very specific setup to make that happen. You can do it, I'm sure. I've seen people do stupid shit like that before, but you need a lot of specific servants that I don't really have leveled, so. Yeah, you can use, there's so much you can do to min-max his damage, and I'm not sure what the maximum is. You could maybe get to 80k, maybe, but you're not gonna get much better than that. Turtsugu doesn't work with Angra very well at all, because like if you're having to, the taunt is not good because you're using Kurutsugu, you are handicapping your maximum potential like so much, because now you're missing out on like either ways to keep Angra alive better or ways to increase his max health. So he mostly wants things like Iris Veil, Medea Lily, Merlin, and you want to just fight something that's AoE. It's really hard to make Angra work if the enemy's not AoE. If you have to sacrifice too much otherwise. Well, we're about out of dumb shit that we can try here, so we might just have to remove the gimmick. That's so I guess that's the one thing I'm not liking about this event. Is like there's a few stages like the Lancer one, I'm like, okay, this is really fun. But most of them, the gimmicks are just horseshit, and they're not even fun to work with, right? It's not like you can, like, they're so stonewalling you that you just remove it. And then you remove the gimmick and they become a joke. Like, that's not fun. That's not fun to have a stage that's basically impossible for like 95% of the player base. And then even if you can beat it, it's not in an interesting way at all. And then you just use the support and then the fight becomes a joke. Like, it's not like kind of a joke. They become complete and utter jokes if you use the support. That's really nice being level 100 and 2k foe though. That's really nice. Because you get a lot of health there. And in P5 too, because or are you in P5? I'm not sure. Because yeah, you want that bigger multiplier for a point of health. It's not Lost Belt 4 locked though. It's just related to Lost Belt 4, but they didn't actually make it Lost Belt 4 locked. Assassins always limit your ability to mess around so much. Because casters suck. Wait, where did I just... Oh, that's not lost. I was like, what? Well, we have a totally random CE that's not going to really do anything, but, oh god, it's another one of these where whenever I see that red tag, I know it's just going to be bullshit. Except for the Lancer stage, it's like the only one. It's because there is no free-to-play single-target caster, and even though Caster Ku is AoE, he does the best at doing single target damage. Okay, that's actually not anything. This is nothing. Like, just remove dots and you're fine. Although maybe it's going to cast more dots. Awesome opening hand game. Oh, they just talk to the dots. It's funny. Is this literal? Please tell me this is not just a 300,000 health boss that just starts off cursing you and that's it. Like if you have coup, you just click disengage and they're all gone, right? That's literally nothing. Like that's literally nothing, right? 300k even at neutral is not a big deal. And then you know you just yeet the debuffs like it's nothing. How do I not have my NP right now? I'm actually gonna restart just because I think Lost can set her up a lot better. That's gonna like we'll still win. Like it's just we can do way better than that. There's 3 CCs in even. That's pretty much always how they do it. You pretty much universally just get 3. 1 3-star, 1 4-star, 1 5-star. Every once in a while though they like give some out for free or whatever, and that's not always how it is, but that smile makes me worried. Oh my god. Well, I mean we're not using an event CE. That means the recommended support, I guess just means the boss doesn't cast the dots. Like you can't just remove them with a million units. Or Atlas. Everyone has Atlas. How did this happen again? Fuck you, game. Good lord. That's so lame. It's gonna take so fucking long for me to get my NP now. Like it's probably gonna be an extra turn because of that. Dude, that is so frustrating. Like I should have my NP right now, but no. Yep. Gotta wait a whole fucking turn. The true stage is the shitty hands indeed. You know how ridiculous this is? We got Shimosa music playing. We have this crazy space green background with flying penguins while a giant ghost fights Luvia. Like, that is so stupid. Like, I kind of stepped back for a second there and I'm like, this is ludicrous what I'm looking at here. We could have done so much more by now if George didn't take all the cards. Is it just dead right now? Yeah, it's just dead. Okay. Yeah, what is state? Literally 300k at neutral. Like, who gives a shit about that? Like, so many units can handle 300k at neutral. At least we get Void Dust out of it, though. Don't mind that. Okay. Please don't suck. I feel like I've used enough other units that I can do this now. I've built up enough credit. Look, you know, it's what I do. Oh, there's a red gimmick thingy, so. Although it's probably just gonna be some stupid bullshit that you can't beat at all and blah 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 blah, but I guess we'll see. Hi guys, you have resistance to all damage types, okay, that's great. Pretty horrible opening hand, but at least I got a coup card. That's not looking so good. This is just another one where it's you don't do anything and then, you know, if you remove their gimmick, it's nothing. Why do they think this is fun? Like, I don't understand why they think this is fun, right? Like, it's so boring. Because it's not like if you remove the gimmick, oh, then it's still hard. Like, it's not. Extra attack on Time of the Shining, dude. You could probably do this one though by just bringing in event CE. Ku might actually be able to do, it looks like it can do some kind of damage, so Ku might be able to do this if I give him like right command codes and everything. No, probably not. Yeah, it's just divinity there. That's weird though. I guess it's just the flat damage on the. Okay, hold on. I wanna give this a try real quick. They're gold bosses though, so they shouldn't really have any. Their insta-death chance should be terrible.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so tired of this UI, dude. Like, because command codes are so impactful, so it's like, it's a really big deal, but it just gets so frustrating having to do this over and over again. Like, look how long that takes. Like, that's just crazy. Oh my god, someone else has the fucking CE. I have a few ways you could approach this. You could, one, bring in event CE and see if that's enough damage to still hurt them. Or I go like covering fire and I see if by some miracle you're able to live long. I don't think so, because they're AoE, you're really behind on survivability. I'm kind of curious though. When you stack that much flat damage, how much we can actually get. Should have a covering fire that's decently leveled, but apparently not. Do I burn it or something? Huh. I don't know, I found, like, some of the early mini-bosses were pretty fun, like the Lancer one, but all the other ones have been shit. It's either use the thing or don't, and then it's impossible or it's super easy, right? It's not great. frustrating. Literally wanted to see every card in the deck except for the 1k heal. How much flat damage can we do? You know, that is kind of cool that he's doing almost 4k flat damage. That's kind of cool, but that's not really enough. And that last card has got a lot of flat damage applied to it. I mean, it can kill one, but I don't think there's any way you're getting all three. See, if this was only one of them, this would actually be fun to do without the gimmick, because you could reasonably do what we're trying to do right now. You could also do a full hand of dot cards, so you could be playing 3 dots per turn. That would really add up, because a lot of them last, like, there's some that last in 5 turns, and if you kept using those, you would get, oh, they only get 1 action per turn. That's actually not bad then. Okay, let's see. Yeah, the flat damage and extra card damage are adding up. So I think we can kill this guy at least, but yeah, I don't think we're killing all 3. Well, it's a decent amount of healing considering Ku's not much of a healer, but it's not gonna help too much with these guys. Overall, the heal boost wasn't worth it, and another dot would have been better. Maybe we'll get an insta-kill here if we get lucky. That's so sad. Seeing the AP does so much less because the other cards have got like the command code for the 1k and stuff like that. So the MP is kind of worse actually than a normal card. Man, even without even with them being AoE and the taunts not helping us at all, Ku still lived a long time. But that's about all she wrote, I think. Almost 1.5 though. Not too bad. And the command codes could have been a bit better. Alright, we'll see if the event CE is somehow enough to get past that, but I doubt it. This one you could somewhat reasonably do in a team though. Although in a team you could live, but you'd get extra attacks so rarely. But you could make a team that's throwing out flat damage, like through waivers dot and command code dots and extra attacks, and you know there's enough ways that you could. This one you could probably do in a team. There's enough ways to do enough flat damage. I think you could probably do it. It'd be kind of boring, but. Your mid's nightmare right here. Oh, the penguin just flying by there. It's great. Giving us the worst opening card there again. I think it's like kinda getting through it, but not much. But interesting to see what the NP does damage-wise. I should probably be focusing more on NP gain then, actually. With the way I think it applies to special damage bonus, the NP is about the only way that might do good damage here. We'll see. Yeah, hopefully we'll get like a prototype event someday and they'll actually buff Proto Coup. That would be nice. Probably should have cast that last turn. I really should have focused more on NP gain though. Like I'm not really accounting for just how bad their hit count is. Wait, I didn't need to do that. Okay, I think you can win with just the damage CE, but I'll need to play better. Huh. I don't really get what is going on here. I get it. It's because I know what the difference is. It's because the damage CE is applying to the extra attack. So basically, okay. Oh, let me try this again. That might actually work then. You basically need to always do a Buster card. So the extra. I didn't throw. I played that fine there. It's just that the NP is not worth it at all. It's not like anyone else fucking knew that either. Like, everyone's acting like the invulnerability was bad. It wasn't bad. It doesn't matter that one guy died. I blocked the NP with protection from arrows, right? You're not living for the next NP round. It doesn't matter. Like, you're always going to use that to block normal card damage. I almost want to do default. Hard to say. It's basically you want to apply the extra attack as many times as humanly possible. Definitely need to change the command codes though, because there's command codes that could help more. This is not a survivability check. Like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, there's no amount of survivability that is, like, reasonable for what's going on with the way the stage works. Herc actually would be good because he can Buster Chain, and Buster Chains makes the extra attack do a lot more damage. Like, especially Buster Chains. Like, 3 of a kind always makes the extra attack do more damage, but the Buster ones are especially good because you also get the Buster first card bonus. That's kind of lame though. You really have to rely on the event CE for this one. Or, you know, using the gimmick thing. Yeah, honestly, Herc, I kind of want to check. I bet you Herc with the damage CE, you might get like 100k or something. Maybe not quite 100k, but you could get really high extra attacks, I bet, on his Buster Chain. If Beastly's here, I wanted to try that. I'm really curious what that ends up looking like. Because yeah, he's getting the 200% and the Buster card bonus and the 3 of a kind bonus. Like I'm really curious how much damage that does. That's fun too because then you can't use your. I think Ku can do this though. I'd have to change the command codes around, but I think Ku probably could do this. Be pushing it though. Healing is going to lower my damage, but I might be able to get another turn. Yeah, this is definitely doable with Ku. Just have to twink the command codes a bit. Damn. So, oh my god, they only kill me by 100 health. That sucks, because yeah, if I could have gotten a little bit more survivability in, I would have had another turn. so close, but I think we're gonna just be shy. Wow, couldn't you have done that last turn? Because then we would have not had guts go off. We might live here if we heal. We have to do a Buster card. Wow, yeah, if I change the command codes, easy by the way. Wow, who actually did it? That's good. But yeah, if you change the command codes, you could make that better. And then not only could you make it a little bit better, but then you might even be able to go around to get your guts back. And then you really got it in the bag. Okay, let's try Herc though. I am so curious about Herc's damage here. Oh, and I wonder how Masashi would do too, because she can also get crazy extra. Do you got the Canis one? Because that's what we're gonna want. Because it's I think it's 200%. I think is it 200%? Let me look. Yeah, it is. If you got that one, that's because the all of Herc stuff would end up going into the void just because of the CE difference, I would think. Imagine getting a CE drop, indeed. I know the feeling. Alright, we'll test someone else then while we see here. That sucks. This is where I wish I had my own Herc, but I don't. Who to try? Let me think. You know, Protoku might be able to do it just because his anti-beast damage would apply to his extra attack. And you could keep it up. Let's try that real quick. Let's see if Protoku can actually do something cool here. So Baldy, I don't think would win because I think he would just die, but because his survivability is bad. But Baldy's attack up applies to his extra attack. So yeah, Kama might be able to do it. Hold on, my ult got a CE drop, so it can limit break the thing, but I don't know if I've actually gotten enough event currency to buy all the copies. Yeah, I don't have enough. Fuck. So that means like his beast bonus would just be making up for the fact that we're not MLBing the CE, so he wouldn't actually be gaining anything. So that ain't gonna fly. Feels bad. I haven't really been playing this event on my ult, so. Orion could do really big damage with his extra attack. The problem is he does not have a lot of survivability, so I don't know if he could do it. He could probably kill one of the boars, but I think that'd be that. So anybody got a limit broken CE on and have Herc? Because I really want to. I bet you his extra attack can do so much damage. I wonder what's the best way to go with Ku, though. You could either give him a little bit more survivability, so you have a little bit more wiggle room at the end there, or you could give him more flat damage. Probably survivability. You mostly get your damage from... You want the one Buster card. You have it with that one Buster card with the flat damage. Because you want the Buster up applying his extra attack like every turn. So you probably do that, and then you go all survivability, I would think. I got lucky on this one. The last two events that had CEs like this, I just could not get a CE drop on the right accounts. I could only get it on like the 1 to 3 star account and crap. Where on this event, I got CE drops pretty quick on the 2 accounts that matter, so I was pretty happy about that. Although I just realized, because I haven't been playing the event on the ult account, I haven't bought the CEs from the shop, and I still can't slot then the event CE. So I need to actually go, I need to do that later and make sure. I didn't get a CE drop in good of 5. Wow, that sucks, dude. Yeah, June is pretty good. Yeah, I think that CE was bad outside of the event, so it was really only for the challenge quest. I just hate that. I hate that you have to farm so much just to do challenge quest stuff. It's stupid. And like, yeah, if you bring really powerful things like Waver and whatnot, you normally don't need the limit broken CE, but I'd rather not use those things, but then I have to get the limit broken CE, and it's just, it's annoying. They normally count as demonic. Yeah, I mean, not in every context are you gonna want the Yang CE on Orion, because here's the thing: Orion does so much damage that normally you're doing overkill damage per health bar or per enemy. So you don't normally need to give him more damage, right? Normally you want to give him like starting NP or star bomb or star gen or NP gain or something, because if you have enough damage anyway, you'd rather have utility, right? You'd rather have like, oh hey, I could get my NP off the bat because of K-scope or whatever, right? So every once in a while you'll fight something where it's like, holy shit, we need all the damage we can get, and then so it could be good on him. But normally it's like, it's overkill, because a big part of what makes the Yang CE so good is it has Pierce and Vulnerability, but Orion gives himself Pierce and Vulnerability anyway, so, you know, you're kind of doubling up on that, and there's no point. Imagine Golden Sumo in a main interlude, but you can only get it from CE drops. The thing is, they never have stages that you can repeat in main interlude, so you wouldn't be able to farm it anyway. Although I guess they could change that. I say that, but you know, they've already had main interludes perform differently than previous ones, so they could easily add a main interlude that does have farming in it, so, you know, knock on wood on that one. I mean, I don't think any of the banners are worth summoning on right now, but, you know, I've got my own taste and whatnot. I don't give a crap about any of the stuff they have up right now. But, you know, no, I don't think anyone expects me to care about Nemo and Van Gogh and whatnot. Now, your options are Nemo and Van Gogh and Yang and Frankenstein, right? I don't care about any of those. In terms of gameplay, though, I mean, they're all serviceable. Well, I would always say, like, if you like a servant, that doesn't mean you should summon for them, right? Because maybe you think another servant you like even more is coming down, you know, in a rate up later, right? Because if you're like, oh my god, Scath is my absolute favorite character, then you should probably be saving up for when Scath gets a rate up, right? That just makes sense. Where a lot of people have a bad habit of every time they just kind of like something, they roll, and then so they never have saved up for the thing that they really like. And that's normally not the best option. But honestly, with 5 stars, because 5 stars have such good stat lines, if you want to make them work, most of them you can make work. There are very few 5 stars that it's like, oh my god, this 5 star is so bad that you can't make use of this. Like even Lancer Artoria, you can make work because she's got that 50% battery, and for a lot of farming, she has good enough damage, and then you can always compensate for her lower damage in challenge quests by maybe summoning a friend's Merlin or something, right? So even her, who's on the lower end of things, is still perfectly usable, so. The main thing is, I always say, if you're like newer to the game, and you're not sure what to roll on and stuff, I wouldn't even sweat it too much, right? Like, saving your SQ is never a bad thing, right? Stockpiling your SQ is never bad because you can always use it for something later down the line. So what I always recommend for new players to do is, sure, if you see a gold servant like, wow, I really like this character, I really want them, then yeah, maybe you should go for them. But even if you do that, you should really be focusing on getting some core 1 to 3 stars up. And I know I'm like the 1 to 3 star guy, so of course I'm going to say that, but seriously, it makes account life so much easier if you get some fundamental 1 to 3 star units leveled up. That way you're not relying on the Gasha. You don't like, oh, I hope the Gasha gives me a unit that is in this niche, right? Get your bases covered with the standard stuff that anybody can get, right? The 1 to 3 stars. And then you can kind of see where maybe if you're really lacking in something and you also like this character and they're in that area that you're lacking, then it's even better to roll for them, right? It just gives you good perspective on what you might need and what you like gameplay-wise if you have a backbone. And so, like, you know, you want to level some units that can support other units and can keep you alive, right? I always recommend David, David is really important to level. Hans is really important to level. St. George, Mash, everyone has Mash, of course. Get those fundamental, Chin Gong, get those things leveled because you're going to get them very easily. They give you a lot of customization for like your teams, and they're very flexible. Oh yeah, and Mozart, get Mozart up. And then for DPS is the hardest thing to give people recommendations on because what DPS you should level is really relative to what you happen to have. So for example, let's say you've got Gilgamesh or something, you don't really need to level like Robin as much. It's still not a bad idea to level Robin, but you're not going to need him nearly as much if you happen to have a really good 5-star archer nuker, right? So, that kind of stuff depends. Yeah, you don't need any 5 stars for anything. You don't need any 5 stars for anything. It's harder. The game's much harder if you don't have 5 stars. But it's you'll actually get better at the game when you don't always rely on 5 stars. You'll learn a lot more stuff. See, I never... Okay, I'll just give my quick take. What I do if I'm on a new account, I roll story or a raid up if I like the raid up a few times when I'm new, just to kind of, grab a few, you get a few units, you get a few CEs, maybe you get a few rare things, right? So I'll do a few 10 rolls here and there on a new account, but then I'll start to save up for things that I really like that are rated up. And yes, that's going to mean you're going to go a while without getting any new golds, but in the meantime, you'll be getting a lot of 1 to 3 stars from FP Summon, and they're worth leveling anyway. So you're going to be busy with that anyways, right? And leveling up your fundamental stuff, like I normally level things like Ku and 100 Face and, Ushi, St. George, David, Mozart, Chin Gong, all those things. Leveling those up is going to keep you busy for a while anyway. And by the time you've kind of gotten that sorted out, then you'll have more SQ, and maybe you'll have seen some raid ups by then that you want, right? So I always say, don't rush. Get your fundamental stuff up. I really need a video that's dedicated that I can just link people. Because I know the game really well, not to brag, but I know this game really well, and I know I've made so many of my own accounts, like I make new accounts just to play the game again for fun. I know what the new player experience is like, and I know what units are worth, leveling and stuff. So I should make a video sometime that's kind of like my tier list, 1 to 3 star tier list video, but more condensed and more focused on what's practical. And then I'll mention units that maybe if you like them, they're good enough to fill in. I'll mention like, yeah, Robin Hood is kind of the go-to archer to level, but if you really like William Tell, you can still kind of make it work. And then Uriel's, really good against males, but not so good against everything else, things like that. But yeah, if I could make like a 10-minute video that's just like what's useful to new players, I think that could be good. Because I think a lot of new player guides out there are trash and aren't actually very helpful, but Quick thoughts on Van Gogh. I mean, she's fine, but Foreigner's really niche, and you don't need Foreigners very much. And she's good, but she doesn't do anything so exceptional that it's she's kind of like, yeah, this can work. She'll do well against Berserkers and stuff. And she's okay in general use, but she's nothing amazing. Yeah, I might try to make a video like that. Alright, well, I guess we don't have any Hercs with, the event CE, so we can't really do that. Feels bad. Well, at least we made Ku work. That was kind of satisfying, and I could make it a little bit better than that, but I think we've done all the other ones, haven't we? Did we do this one? Yeah, I think we've done all of these. This is the only one I'm not sure if we did it or not. Was this just the Rider Boar? Because that one was dumb too. Oh, we haven't done this one, but this is probably just another fight with the whale, which is probably the same thing where you just gotta bring the thing. At least this one was beatable without doing the fucking gimmick, but you did have to bring the event CE, so that was nice. Every once in a while they do 5-star guaranteed banners. They generally do them once or twice a year. I can't think of a year that's gone by where they haven't done one. Yeah, I'm free to play on pretty much all of my accounts. I have way too many accounts, and they're all free to play, and I always get by just fine. It's not a big deal. I've been playing this game for a long time. The game is harder if you're free to play, obviously, but I actually think it's funner. I legitimately stand by this. I think the game is a lot more mechanically satisfying as a free-to-play because you have to like respect boss gimmicks more, and you have to think a bit more, and you have to plan a bit more, and I just find that more enjoyable. So, and you'll get plenty of. I'm telling you, as a free-to-play, you are going to get plenty of golds, right? It might take a spell. Don't get in a rush, right? But you are in time. You are going to get plenty of golds as a free-to-play, right? They're not that hard to come by. You will get them. Now, getting the ones that you want might be a bit random if you don't save up, but like you're going to get plenty of 4 and 5 stars. Not to be a sellout, but if you truly want help for like free-to-play units, I do have a 1 to 3 star tier list video where I talk about every single 1 to 3 star unit in the game, and I think I make it pretty clear which ones are worth leveling and worth putting your time into. But yeah, I think that can be useful if you're wanting to use the free-to-play units to kind of get you going, and then like I said, you will get golds that will help you out as well. All right, I guess we'll get through these because we have to do these, but these are so boring. I'm so disappointed in how the last floor is like the worst mini boss fights. I'm just gonna Edmund cheese the shit out of these. I don't get why floor 1 to 4 have like some fun stuff, or 1 to 3, but then floor 4 was just like lol, boring ass, just trash stuff. I don't really get why they did that. Well, I truly don't need to level any Mysticoats anymore, so I guess I'll bring that. That's good for Edmund stuff. I really do recommend, if you're new to the game, just don't rush, just because there's a lot to learn, right? There really is. It's gonna be kind of overwhelming how much. This game is not that hard, but there is a lot of information and stuff to absorb when you first get into it. So I always just say, just breathe. If you really like a unit, don't worry too much if they're meta or not. If you're like, oh wow, you got like Ushi or something, you think, Medusa, and you think they're cool, then just level them. It's fine, right? But yeah, you want to level a few, things that are practical, and just learn as you go, and just kind of if you want to like learn about one game system at a time, that's fine. Like you don't need to try to absorb everything at once. Because yeah, there's a lot to take in when you first start. But it's like, for real, this game is not hard until Camelot, right? If you're playing through the main story, you're not gonna fight anything hard until Camelot, right? So you have like a bunch of filler stories that are really easy, so you have plenty of time to like level up units and get used to things. You're not gonna face anything too challenging for a while, but just do be aware that the game has it goes from being really easy to somewhat difficult out of nowhere, right? So while the game is easy, you want to like try to learn as you go, right? I think some people have a bad time because they're like, oh, this game's really easy, and they don't learn anything. And then when they do get to the harder content, they're so not ready, right? And I've seen this happen where people get salty because they get to the harder stuff and they're getting crushed because they're so unprepared. And like, oh, you have to wail to beat these things because they're getting crushed so bad. But that's not the case. You don't, if you learn as you go, like, you'll be fine, so. Some guides out there are useful. I do think this player base is a real problem, though, where most of our quote-unquote guides aren't actually very good, and they're mostly from Whale's perspective, trying to see things from a free-to-play perspective, but they're kind of failing. I think a lot of guides out there are pretty bad for this game. There are some that are good, though. I think Toho knows what he's talking about and stuff like that. There are people out there that know how to give good advice to new players, for sure. But I've noticed it's a huge problem in the FGO community. All the people that have like clout really aren't good at actually getting free-to-play new people into the game. They're good at getting whale new players into the game. And like, even I'm not that, like, I don't have like any go-to source to actually help anybody, right? I absolutely don't. Like, I'm not helpful either. Because yeah, I've got my 1 to 3 star video, but that's not really good in a vacuum at all. You kind of need to already know what the fuck is going on to understand any of that. with advising people to, you know what the meta is and stuff, but a lot of the meta is unobtainable by a free-to-play. No free-to-play is going to start the game like, oh yeah, I'll just get Scatty and Merlin for a head, right? Like, that's not a thing. You know, you can't even get Castor Toria anymore, right? And it's like, most people aren't going to enjoy the game if all they do is sit around and wait for them to rate up Castor Toria, right? Like, I really don't think most people understand what this game is like as a pure free-to-play, right? Like, I really don't think they... And so it's like, if you want to save up for something, that's fine, but you're probably not going to want to save up for something that you don't even like just for gameplay purposes, right? Like, seriously, if you're free-to-play, you're probably not going to want to use your SQ that way. Maybe you do, and because some people like to meta slave as a free-to-play as well, but I think a lot of people don't want to do that. Oh, you have to actually do those new free quests too. Hopefully they're good drop nonsense. Really, like, this is a legitimate issue though, and there's why you're playing FGO is going to vary from person to person, right? Some people just want to, like, yeah, I want to use the favorite characters I like, and I want to try to build teams around them and make them as good as possible, right? A lot of, and I want to enjoy the story, right? That's what a lot of people want to do, right? So they want meta units that, like, highlight their favorite units, but ultimately they want to make their favorite units work. And that's a pretty reasonable way to play the game, right? I think that's how a lot of people play it. But some people want to be nothing but efficiency, right? They enjoy min-maxing and figuring out how to be more and more efficient. And that's a fine way to play the game too. And then some people want to use, you know, nothing but the units they like and not use the meta stuff at all. But I think most people want a mix of the two. They want some meta and some stuff that they like. And then you've got people like me that, you know, I do a lot of different things, but I really like enjoying trying to use, you know, the 1 to 3 stars just to use the 1 to 3 stars, right? But I like to mix it up and do other things too. But so yeah, different people want different things out of the game. Some people want to enjoy the boss fights and they want to have a, you know, a good experience, you know, figuring out the boss mechanics, especially the later bosses. Obviously the early bosses are a joke, but some people don't care about that. Some people just want to see their waifu go burr, right? Like, seriously, some people don't care about, like, understanding the Zeus fight, right? They're not interested in, like, understanding mechanically what's going on in the Zeus fight. They just want to see their waifu, you know, kill things, right? And, you know, good, you know, fair enough, right? So different people want different things. The funny thing is, people always say that I'm a masochist and people like me are masochists. We're actually not at all, because I want to succeed, right? It's like, you just want the success to mean something, right? It's like when people want to figure out how to beat a Dark Souls boss without getting hit, it's because they want to really understand it, and when they beat it, they want to know that they did well. It's actually about winning, not the losing, right? Now, you may have to lose, you know, to figure it out or whatever, but yeah, it's a really common thing that people say about people that have a mindset like mine, that, like, ultimately what I like, this is just what it comes down to. It's not even about 1 to 3 stars. It's not about free to play. I just like not trivializing bosses and finding interesting ways to beat them, and I want to feel like I played well. When I beat Zeus, I want to feel like it's because I understand the fight and I didn't cheese it and I didn't have to break out my wallet, and when I beat it, it's because I played well, right? That's what I want. That's what I go for. So I try to bring a team that will allow that, where I'm not going to trivialize the boss and make it too easy, but I want it to be possible and reasonable if you play well. That's how I play Genshin Impact as well. Is I don't want to kill a boss in 1 damage cycle, right? I'm not looking to do that, but I'm not looking to kill it in 90 damage cycles either, right? I just want to be able to understand the boss, know its moveset, dodge well, you know, understand some of the nuance under the hood, and to be able to beat it in a reasonable amount of time, but not just instantly kill it, right? That's what I want. And that's what I want out of most games, right? Because I just want to be able to be like, yeah, I figured the boss out, I understand it really well, I've figured out how to execute properly, and now I can beat the boss, right? And I don't want to be like, lol, I just one-shot it, right? Yeah, if you play the game, you're going to have nothing but 5-star CEs. 5-star CEs aren't that hard to come by, and every event gives you 1 or 2 for free. You know, this event gives you the Canis one for free, so if you do the event, there's a free 5-star CE right there. That's kind of how I've always played video games, and that's just... You know, some people are like, oh, you know, you're just overly handicapping yourself. I don't even do that, right? I'm not like, LOL. Like, if I'm going to do like a challenge in like a Souls game, I normally like, yeah, I'll just stay at level 15 and, you know, so I can get hit like maybe once. so I don't die to the boss taking a footstep. But I need to, you know, I don't want to one-shot the boss. I want to take a good while to beat it, so I have to really understand it, and I know how to deal with every attack that he does. But, you know, that's just, you know, that's my favorite way to play games. But, you know, people, it comes in all shapes and sizes. A lot of people like the story, they like getting, like, wrapped up in the atmosphere of it and that kind of thing. So, you know, there's all kinds of reasons to play a game. Some people, you know, just want the story, nothing else. Some people want to mix. Some people like, you know, a mix of things. Wow, these stages really do suck. It's really disappointing, considering the other ones were actually kind of interesting. Although some of the other ones are shit too. Like this has been a real mixed bag with the way they've done the boss fights in this event. They're a mix of, you know, just LOL, counter the gimmick with the support, and then the fight doesn't even matter. And then there's a few though that you can actually do. So. Seriously, dude, like when I was actually kind of sad when I was fighting Child in Genshin Impact. You know, I was off stream, just had my tea, could just take my time, and I was just sitting there learning the boss fight, seeing how his moves work, when his AI decides to do this over that, like what he favors and stuff. I had so much fun. The sad thing was, once I truly figured out the AI, I found just being really aggressive on him means you put him in the block stun a lot, and he's unable to. I found all these fun ways. Like, he's got that move where he's, like, dropping arrows on you like crazy, and I found, like, ways where you could, like, hit him in between the shots and stuff, but none of that matters because, the way his block works, a lot of his attacks just are never gonna happen, so that was kind of disappointing. Yeah, Zal finally returned. I'm gonna try to stream Genshin, later tonight. I'll be do that kind of soon, actually. Y'all think that boar fight without doing the gimmick is worth a video? I'm not sure. It's right on the edge. It's like right on the edge. I would really like to see it with Hercules. I feel like Hercules would have made it really interesting. I have a feeling that if you play with randoms with Child, there must be so many people that have no idea what they're doing, and it's just a chaotic mess. Yeah, we'll do a bonus stream today for sure. I'll probably wrap up kind of soon, because we're kind of out of the good stuff to do here, so... Well, some characters, even if they're stacked, aren't going to completely trivialize things, but yeah, if you get really meta with the team setup in Genshin, you can just kill the bosses so quickly, and you can face tank so many of their hits. You don't need to know what you're doing at all. But if you do dial it back and you're not going ham on the gear and stuff, there's some pretty interesting mechanical stuff going on. The Wolf, the Ice Flower, and Child are pretty solid, you know, boss fights where you really got to understand them and stuff if you're not overgearing them, and you're not just instantly murdering them. Like, they're not the best bosses I've ever seen in video games, but like, they're pretty good. I'm like, yeah, this ain't half bad. And so I'm looking forward to it. I think Child was a decent step up in boss design for them. I thought he was like, yeah, this is pretty good. You know, it's not like, you know, again, it's not like a Ninja Gaiden boss or anything, but it's pretty good. Like, it's not bad. And so moving forward, as they add more bosses, I'm hoping they'll kind of continue that, you know, good. It's clear that they have someone on staff that is trying to make mechanically good fights, right? Now, obviously, I think they know a lot of people are just gonna, you know, strong arm them and stuff, and you know that's a thing too. But like the Child fight and the Wolf fight, those aren't accidents, right? Those aren't like, whoops, we accidentally made a good boss mechanically, right? They're actually well designed bosses. So I'm looking forward to what they make in the future. So I am worried though that there's going to be a problem with like stat lines. And like certain players are gonna have certain stat lines, and they're gonna balance around one or the other. And like and that's definitely a problem in Epic 7, right? Big time. So I'm a little worried about that. But so far so good, and we'll see what happens. One thing I like actually is that all the world level stuff and level stuff doesn't change anything other than stats. So like the level 60 version of Child is exactly the same as the level 70 version of Child. There's no difference. The only difference is the amount of damage he does and the amount of health that he has. So if you're on the lower end of gear, you can do a lower level version, and mechanically it's the same damn thing, right? And if you're on the higher end of gear and you do a higher version, again, mechanically the same damn thing. For what I have seen though, is they don't make a version that's hard enough for people that are super geared. If you are mega geared and you've got a good team comp, there's a lot of elemental synergy, there is no version of the boss that has high enough stats, right? There is none that have high enough stats to contend with that, and you'll be able to, you know, strong arm it with your, you know, 20-foot schlong, and that's that, right? Which is probably not a good thing, but, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the free fish, but I'm probably gonna use Amber anyway. Amber is really fun gameplay-wise. I found so many fun things you can do with the doll, man. Yeah, the bird is the unit, indeed. You're talking about the chef, everybody gets her. I actually have not used my child yet. I haven't had time to play Genshin much at all. Life's been kind of a mess for me right now, and then between streaming and everything, there just has not been time. And then making the video for Genshin, you know, like the one thing that I did. Yeah, but I think everybody has the cook, whatever, however you say her name. Like everyone has her. I don't use her. Like she's been level 1 for me this entire time. But, you know, I got her, like, you know, day 2 of the game or whatever, or maybe later than that. I remember, like, day 1, I was unsure if I was gonna like the game or not, but then day 2 is when I started, like, seeing better combat, and I saw that there were... And then day 3 was when I saw there was iframes, and then I started liking it a lot more. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up there, and I'm gonna get, like, some dinner and stuff, and then we'll stream some Genshin Impact probably in, you know, 10, 20, 30 minutes. But, oh yeah, I'll probably try to record that coup thing real quick, because I need to kill these guys to get the points off of them, but I'll try to record that, that boar fight real quick while I eat or something. Alright, chat, thank you for hanging out and watching us do weird things. I'll probably be back in about 30 minutes, I would think. But, yeah, for those that don't want to watch Genshin Impact, I will see you guys tomorrow.